Two beautiful nights for this Red Sox series so far. 81 degrees, mostly blue skies here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards as we get set for game 2. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Red Sox, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Changes from last night with the Orioles throwing the left-hander. Lugo, Pedroia, and Youkilis, Bay, Ortiz, and Veritek. Baldelli gets a start. Ellsbury and Jeff Bailey, just called up today, will start at first base. Kevin Youkilis leading the American League in on-base percentage.
Take a look at our PNC scouting report. Well, the Forrest Gump of starters. Life's like a box of chocolates. You never ever know what you're going to get. But what they do want from Rich Hill, they want him to go deeper in the game. He's averaged maybe right around a little bit less than 5 innings per game, and not sleepless in Seattle because that was one of his best games. That in Philadelphia. Great park to pitch in Seattle. Philadelphia, bandbox. So right here, ample ballpark. You had a chance to see John Lester, who pitched for the opposition last night. Boy, would you like to put that kind of performance on, because it was pretty special.
He was outstanding and continues. So Lester did, of course, that 8-0 mark he has. The Orioles hope, though, this will be a little better night. Get the offense going and get a pitcher deeper into the ball game, as Jim said. Hill ready to go, and Lugo did not play last night. We'll get the start at shortstop in this ball game. Takes the pitch away, and we are underway. Hitting at .292 on the season for Lugo with a home run and 7 RBIs. Lugo gets the start with a left-hander on the mound. This Red Sox team has demolished left-handers overall early on this year. They've got the best record in the American League against lefties. They are 18-8 with a .275 team batting average against them, 10 points higher than they are against right-handers. So Terry Francona's adjustable lineup has worked well. Good breaking ball in for a strike, 1-2.
Yeah, they better be able to hit the curveball, because Rich Hill will throw a lot of them, and they'll throw them at any time, any count. 3-2, 2-0, 2-1. Big Luke, guy at 6'4".
And a good bender. Tried that one and missed it a little bit up high. 2-2. Lugo's a .400 hitter off left-handers. That's why he's in the lineup for this ball game, going 10 for 25 against the Southpaws so far.
Well,
Red Sox 47 wins, Jim. Rolling.
And only the second best record in baseball to the Dodgers.
That one's going to be a base hit. Hung it. And Lugo's got a single.
Yeah, Julio Lugo isn't going to miss that pitch very often. Let's take a look at the defense here at Camden Yards for the Orioles. Reimold, Jones, and Markakis. Real good outfield. Mora and Dino has played about as well as you can play for a young player at shortstop. Roberts Huff around the infield. Young Matt Wieters behind the plate.
And Dustin Pedroia at it. Pedroia went 1 for 3 in the ballgame last night. 5th in runs, moved back down to the number 2 spot, and that's where he likes to be, and that's where he is most productive for this Red Sox team. Pedroia up with a runner on, showed bunt that time. Let's see if Terry Francona plays it that way. He's also a good hit and run man. DeMarlo Hale with the signs down at third, over to first for Lugo.
Well, Terry Francona, terrific manager. He's won a couple of World Series, 2004, 2007. So he's the number guy, along with just understanding the game.
Pops that one up. Huff at first base in foul territory and makes a nice play. Never really got under that and ended up in that little bit of sunshine that's left down the right field line.
Yeah, we talked about it. It affects the right fielder, and on a pop up like this, and then you have the tarp that in case you get rain. So a sterling grab by Aubrey Huff, who's played very well at first base.
Boy, that's a nice play. Tough out. Here is Kevin Youkilis.
Yeah, the one thing, the Red Sox, they put a run on the board last night. Of course, Drew, who almost hit for the cycle, led it off with a triple, also a home run single.
And as a result, doesn't get to play tonight.
No.
Drew,
he's tired.
Sitting 259 off lefty's not that bad.
He's tired.
He's tired. As Dave Tremblay was talking about before the game, this Red Sox team has great depth. Youkilis will take the pitch for a strike. 8th in the league in average. He's got a 3-game hit streak. He continued last night with a 1 for 3. He's hitting .323 off lefties and .305 off right-handers. Runner at first, and trying to shut down these Red Sox early is important to keep a little bit of that momentum on your side. Runner goes. Here's the throw, Wieters, and not in time. They ran last night and they start again tonight.
Yeah, 3 stolen bases last night, and that's only Lugo's second steal of the year. And again, he goes on the first move. Big breaking ball, picks the right pitch. Good throw from Matt Wieters. And right there again, the curveball getting there a little bit slower. On the money. Accuracy has been his problem.
Back to the base. Holding close, Brian Roberts. Again, you play this kind of defense here because you're trying to prevent the Red Sox from getting going early. That's what you want to try and shut down here. So they're going to play this very tight early on. Youkilis will take it down low. You're trying to get now the #1 hitter with runners in scoring position out of there. He's hitting .367. And that is the best number in the American League, and he's got one out there in Lugo at second base. The Red Sox jumped out last night with a run in the first. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Hill's delivery swung on, hit high in the air to center. Going back is Jones on his horse, warning track, wall, and goodbye home run. And is Jones all right? Did he catch the ball? Nobody knows. Adam Jones went down hard. It's gone. And down after hitting the wall hard is Adam Jones.
Yeah, great effort. But again, this wall doesn't have a lot of give to it. He's saying, hey, Richie Pansells and the trainer. So again, playing very shallow. So he's trying to do it on the dead run. And the glove goes, and I don't know, maybe the ball went with it. Certainly the ball's over the wall.
Last night he robbed Kevin Youkilis of a home run. It was over the wall and he brought it back. This time Youkilis gets just enough extra on it and it's gone.
And again, never taking his eye off the ball, so he doesn't know where the wall is, and he hits it really with his knee and his thigh. I think if he had been able to get back a little bit quicker, which is certainly difficult to do when the ball's hit that well and you're playing shallow, so the force of actually hitting his knee and thigh kicks him back, and then the glove goes over the wall along with the ball.
Well, Kevin Youkilis has tested him, and he did again tonight. But it looks like Adam is all right. But boy, that was some thumping. We'll see how that plays out. Here's last night on a Youkilis home run that wasn't, as he robbed him. And here tonight in the first inning, he can't get that one.
And again, the ball hit a little bit harder. Obviously, it goes, I don't know if it went any farther because the other one was a dead center, but he just couldn't get back in time. And you know, we were talking before the game. I played with Paul Blair, who had such great body control. But again, that was a tremendous effort. It looked like he was going to catch it.
But here again, here go the Red Sox.
Yep.
Lost in all this. It's 2-0. Kevin Youkilis gets his 13th home run of the season. And Hill gives up his 4th. All have been hit by right-handers. 44 RBIs for Youkilis now, and Boston picks up right where they left off, getting on the board early. Jason Bay, base is empty, 1 down and 2 runs in. So Hill unable to get out of the jam here with Lugo leading it off. American League leader in RBIs. Jason Bay, he is 3rd in home runs. He was shut down in the ball game last night as he ended up taking an 0 for 5 in the game.
Yeah, Jason Burkett made some real good pitches, and you saw what would happen if he can command his fastball and keep the ball down. A lot of the other Red Sox got balls similar to already tonight. Balls in the middle of the plate up in the strike zone, took advantage of it.
That ball drilled to 3rd. Melvin Mora. 2 down. Bay retired. Well, the pitching coach of the Orioles talking about Rich Hill. Coach Kranitz said today
he's got to get strike one, whether it be curveball or fastball, but he's got to be able to get his he's got to get outs with his fastball. He can't just rely solely on the breaking ball, and hopefully that changeup will be there for him, as well, to get some of these right-handers off of him. So, he's got to get ahead.
That is the key in every start, seemingly. David Ortiz will take a strike on the inside corner. Ortiz went 1 for 4. He had a shattered bat bloop single in the ball game last night, and has extended his hit streak to 4 games. The 0-1 delivery to Ortiz. There's the breaking ball that will miss 1-1.
Yeah, he will drop down on left-handers, but Rich Hill's not a stuff guy. I mean, we saw John Lester, if you want to compare him to him. I mean, Lester was throwing anywhere from 89 to 96. And Rich will very rarely get over 90, 91 miles per hour. There's a big curveball that hangs. So again, and he's never been a command guy. Rich Kranitz, who we just heard from, said, listen, it's about throwing strikes, but it has to be about deception. And there are the numbers, much better against lefties than righties.
Ortiz has finally heated it up. June has been his month. 2-1 delivery on the way to him. Breaking ball fooled him, and it's in there for a strike. While you saw the overall season numbers on him at just 221, Ortiz in the month of June is hitting .310, and he's had 7 home runs in the month of June.
Yeah, 7 of the 8 that he's hit.
Left-hander's pitch, and that's going to be a base hit taken to left center field. Jones has got to chase this down. Ortiz will thunder to second base. Throw will not be in time. A double and a 5-game hit streak.
Well, everybody talks about the fact that if you're not hitting home runs and you're supposed to hit home runs and you try to hit home runs, you don't do anything. But right here, this is the approach. Pretty good pitch by Rich Hill, but not a good result for him as Ortiz just takes that low and away fastball and drills it into left center field.
And to me, Jim, that is the difference in the month of June and the start of the year for David Ortiz. He's taking pitches like a normal good hitter and taking the ball the other way if that's where it's delivered.
Well, you know, Gary, I mean, we've seen him over the years. He can hit the ball as, I don't know about it, far to left center, but he drives the ball to left center with the best of them. And that's when you know he's on the ball and he's seeing the ball and waiting, doing all the things. You know, his hitting instructor, Dave Magidson, said, hey, it's timing. When he's on time, pitchers suffer.
Well, the Red Sox bats again alive here, as they already have 2 runs on 3 hits in the first inning. 2 down, runner at second for Jason Varitek. Varitek last night 2 for 4 in the ball game. Varitek has picked up his offensive numbers since the start of the season, and certainly a much better first half than he had last year, where the numbers dipped down on him. That'll be taken inside, really crowding the plate on the left-hander. Varitek 259 off lefties, 233 off right-handers. Orioles trying to find a way to beat this team that has now won 8 straight games against them, and 14 out of the last 15 have been won by the Red Sox. That one is going to miss, and the count goes to 3-0 on Varitek.
And you wonder, even though Baldelli, who waits on deck, has been hitting pretty well against lefties, you wonder if Terry Francona will give him the red light.
I think he would. And no need. 4 in a row onto the strike zone. Hill surrenders the walk. First and second, 2 down. And Rico Baldelli, who did not play in the ball game last night, will stand in. He's been on the disabled list a few times, making starts in the outfield in both right and center, and he's been a DH at times. He's making the start for the 13th time in right field in this game. Rick Kranitz out first inning to have a word with Rich Hill.
Yeah, well, he's had the hamstring problems, but what he does bring to the table is he can play right field. So if you don't have J.D. Drew, and of course we told you that Drew almost hit for the cycle last night, but he's also a very good defensive player, and so is Baldelli.
The Red Sox put Mike Lowell on the DL today with that right hip strain, and Jeff Bailey has been called up. He's playing in the ball game tonight, so the decision made to let Lowell have some time off and get back after the All-Star game. 2 down, and the pitch is in there for a strike. Baldelli is in there because he's hitting .333 off left-handers and .182 off righties. Part of the platoon against lefties, and a ground ball back to the mound. Hill stabs it, makes the underhanded toss, and that will do it. But Youkilis delivered the big home run that Adam Jones tried to catch, went down, but as you see him running in, he looks all right. Red Sox get the early 2-0 lead for John Smoltz. Here's the starting lineup for the O's, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Roberts, Jones, and Markakis, Huff, Reimold, and Scott, Mora, Wieters, and Andino. Nolan Reimold. Great June.
PNC scouting report on the 42-year-old right-hander. Well, Hall of Fame credentials. And when we talk about that, he's the only guy in the history of baseball, 200 career wins, which is 210, 154 saves, 21st season. And there are the historic distinction. So any way you want to do it, whether he's a closer, starter, he can deal. Watched this game the other night, made 3 bad pitches in the first inning. Washington got 4 runs and then 1 run the rest of the way, struck out the side in the 5th inning. So he was pretty happy with not only the velocity, maybe not the result, because he struggled in 1 inning.
So his second start since coming off the DL for John Smoltz. Brian Roberts will take it away for a ball. Brian's trying to get out of the 0 for. He's 0 for his last 14. It continued in the ball game last night with an 0 for 4. He has faced Smoltz before and has had a couple of hits off him, 2 for 5. 2-0 delivery to Brian, taking all the way for a strike. Smoltz has got 1 win, 1 loss, and 3 saves in his career against the Orioles. He has 1 complete game win against them. Roberts, a ground ball right back to him. Smoltz snags it to flip over to Bailey, and Roberts is retired, 1 away. Jones coming up.
Let's go back to the high fly ball that Euclid hits. Last night he robs him. Tonight just ran out of room, and the glove. And again, this wall, it's supported by posts. It is cushioned, but it's not one of those baggies like Minnesota. You know, he hit his hip, shoulder, probably just a little bit of everything. Tremendous effort.
Probably got a pretty good headache started right now. 1 down.
He'd like to give Smoltz a headache.
Yeah. He will take that for a strike. He had an 0 for 3 in the ball game last night. Adam Jones. Orioles want to get right back in this now in a hurry and not let this get out of control early. A delivery to him, swung on, grounded down to third. That'll be a foul ball. June has not been particularly kind to Adam, hitting only .232. He's had only 1 home run this month.
Yeah, it was .203 going into Friday night's game, so it was even worse. So he's kind of made a little bit of a run for it at the end of June.
Bound to have some swoon.
Oh yeah, peaks and valleys
in a long season. Smoltz into the windup. Here's the 0-2 delivery to him, and that will miss outside for a ball. Smoltz in that start, the only one he's made against Washington that he lost. 5 runs, 7 hits, 5 innings. He walked 1 and struck out 5 in the ball game. As Jim said, only 1 run over his final 4 innings in the ball game he pitched, and he gets him to chase one.
Well, he could make that pitch with the best of them. Fastball, slider, splitter. And he can locate. And what John Farrell, his pitching coach, said, he didn't feel that he threw enough fastballs in that game against Washington. But he said what he did like, and you could see he hits exactly. This is a pitcher's pitch. This is what you did. And again, until that started in Washington, all his starts were the Atlanta. That's the way they pitch down there. Low and away, low and away.
That look brought to you by Northrop Grumman, the information systems powerhouse.
And once you establish the knee-high fastball on the outside corner, it makes that slider even better.
Nick Markakis will foul tip that one into the mitt.
So again, John Farrell saying didn't throw enough fastballs. He's certainly doing that now. And he said the one thing that, and I think John talked about it yesterday, talking about John Smoltz, was he said my velocity was better against the Nationals than it was in any of the rehab starts in the minor leagues.
0-1 delivery on the way, will be taken up high. Smoltz was out for the 2000 season with the elbow injury. He only pitched 6 games with a shoulder problem last year, but he's back, and the great starter closer is now back to a starter's role. 1-1 delivery. Markakis jammed and fouled it back, and a 1-ball 2-strike count on Nick.
When the Braves were in, Bobby Cox, who had him for 20 years, said even last year before the shoulder surgery he was really pitching well, and the numbers support that. 28 innings, 36 strikeouts, 8 walks. That gives you an idea of how he commands the strike zone.
1-2 count on Markakis, and that's that. A strikeout. Markakis is going to argue. The Orioles argued last night with the other umpire, Jerry Lane. They weren't happy with the strike zone, and they've started saying the same thing here. 2-0 Red Sox. One of the surprises in the month of June, the leading home run hitters in the month of June, Miguel Olivo, Juan Rivera.
Yeah, well, we'll see him for.
That's not the end of it. That one bunted down to first base side. A good one. Hill off. He'll make the pitch and he'll get the out. Pretty good bunt. Ellsbury trying to get on, drag that one down the line with him.
Yeah, pretty good bunt, even better play. Ellsbury, second in the league in stolen bases. He can fly. Try to beat the pitcher or maybe the first baseman to the bag. No chance. Just getting a nice little backhand shovel.
Keep that out of the runner's way and you're all set. Here is Jeff Bailey coming up. Those other home run hitters, Russell Branyan, Kubel, and Ben Zobrist. They've all had 8 home runs in June. They're the leaders. If you had bet that at the first of the year, you'd be a billionaire. The breaking ball will be taken down low. Ball 1.
Well, I mean, isn't Zobrist leading the American League in slugging, even though he's on an 8 for 40?
Yep.
And this guy was a utility player last year. He ended up hitting 13 home runs. Had a terrific year. Switch hitting, right fielder, whatever, shortstop. Can play all over for Joe Madden in the Tampa Bay Rays.
Beautiful game.
Yep.
Here's the 2-0 delivery, and here's the Red Sox second time call up this season. Bailey, 30-year-old, second stint with the ball club with Mike Lowe going on the DL. Wieters goes out to have a word. Bailey's got some power. He came up earlier, as we said, in the season. Got a few playing games in, then went back down to AAA. He's a guy they continually go back and forth with as the need be. Hit 3 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs. Playing here, 36 games, AAA, hit 259, 7 homers, 13 RBIs.
Boy, he's the International League's most valuable player last year because he can hit for power.
But he's 30.
Yeah, and he is. He's one of those 4A guys. Certainly a great guy. He'll take the walk to have in your roster because he's perfect for Fenway Park.
So Hill struggling a bit. That's the second walk he's surrendered. The Orioles wrap up their homestand afternoon game, 1:35 tomorrow against the Red Sox. Tickets start as low as $15, so skip out of the office and come on over to the yard for a great afternoon of Orioles baseball. 888-848-BIRD or go to Orioles.com. Matinee to wrap up this homestand. Brad Bergeson 5-2 against Josh Beckett, 9-3. Runner on at first base with 1 away. Top of the order, Lugo delivered a single and scored in the first inning. He's looking down to third again. See if anything's on with Bailey over at first. Not a base stealer, but Lugo is a good handler of the bat if they want to hit and run. Nobody moving, and the pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, a lot of times if you have a somewhat slow runner at first and you get in one of those hit and run counts, 2-1, you'll send the runner if you think the pitcher's going to throw a strike. You just don't know that with Rich Hill, because if he doesn't, Wieters going to throw out.
Up the middle, Brian Roberts can't get it, and a base hit. Jones in to retrieve. Lugo's 2 for 2 in the ball game in the leadoff spot. Bailey goes to second base, and this game is starting the same way it did last night.
Well, again, a changeup, and I think Rick Kranitz came out last inning, the Orioles pitching coach, and said he's going to have to use more than just the fastball and the curveball. So a high curveball the first time for Lugo, high changeup, and he slaps it back up the middle.
2 on, 1 down, and Dustin Pedroia, who popped out, will stand in. 4 hits on the board for the Red Sox, and Pedroia will take the pitch for a strike. He is one of 3 Red Sox in the top 10 with runners in scoring position. He is second. Youkilis is first. He's second at 366, only a point behind Youkilis, and Jason Bay is 10th. Breaking ball is taken up high, 1-1.
You know, he made a great point about leading off. When he did lead off, Dustin Pedroia hit 214. On base percentage went down to about 26% of the time. He took more pitches. In fact, Terry Francona said you're too conscientious, taking too many pitches, and that's not his style. And I said today when we saw him on the bench, I said, did you try to do that? He said, yeah, I tried to take more pitches.
He cares too much.
Yeah,
that's what Terry said. He
yeah.
cares too much. He wants, you tell him he's going to be a leadoff batter, and he thinks, all right, leadoff batters do A, B, C, and D. Well, I got to do A, B, C, and D. But he really didn't. So put him back in the 2 hole and let him be what he is. Swung and a miss. Big cut right there. 2-2.
And a pretty good fastball from Rich Hill. And again, it looks probably better. It's only 87 miles per hour, and this is a little guy that will swing about as hard as anybody in baseball.
Somebody forgot to tell him that along the way.
Well, look at his jaw. He has to get his jaw back into place.
He's the second hardest batter to strike out in the league. And that one's in the gap to left center field. Jones got to chase this one down. Bailey's going to score. Lugo's going to score. and into second base with a double. Pedroia and the Red Sox have a 4-0 lead.
Well, over the weekend, Rob Dibble asked me, did a hitter ever set you up? I think that's what Pedroia did to Hill. Swung through the high fastball, and then he threw this next one right down the middle, and he just clobbered it into left center field for a 2-run double. But watch this. This is why he doesn't strike out. I don't care where you throw it. I think if you're trying to get him out, you want to stay down in the strike zone, but he is a tremendous high ball hitter.
So Pedroia has 33 RBIs now and 22 doubles. Here's Kevin Youkilis. There goes Pedroia. Never looked at him. And not a good start for Rich Hill. It's just gotten out of control here early, and he forgot Pedroia was even there. Now the infield's going to move in.
Well, against the Red Sox, and we saw it last night with 3 steals, you better bring your A game. And right now, we're below average.
Now Youkilis, another RBI chance. Pedroia's got his 14th stolen base, 14 out of 19. Infield in here in the second inning. I mean, I'm telling you, if we ran the ball game from last night, didn't show you who was pitching, you'd see the same game happening here in this one. 1-1 delivery. Breaking ball will catch. Youkilis delivered his 13th home run his first time up and has 2 RBIs.
I guess the interesting thing to me last night when you watched that game, if you didn't look at the scoreboard, you would have thought it was about 8-9-0. And Birkin made a nice job of keeping it somewhat controlled.
Foul tipped, held on to. Strikeout, 2 down. Big one.
Well, Rich Hill's been around enough to know that, again, I mean, right there's Rich Hill against John Smoltz. He pitched well, and Smoltz.
That's the matchup. They pitched against one another in 06. That was Rich Hill's line, and John Smoltz lasted only 2 innings in that ball game. It was won by Hill. The final score was 8-3. John Smoltz was pitching for Atlanta, gave up 6 runs, 6 hits, 2 innings, couple of strikeouts. Hill, pretty good performance, a run, 5 2/3. So they have met before, and here they are going at it again years later. He's got an 0-2 count on Bay. Unfortunately for Rich Hill, it's not started out the same way that one did. There are the two. Hill 29 years old, Smoltz 42. Matching up as starters one more time. 0-2 delivery. Down to third and foul. They grounded out his first time up.
Yeah, he's hitting about 37 points higher against the lefties. Home runs are better against right-handers. Came in hitting .299 against left-handed pitchers.
Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way in the dirt. Wieters scoops it up with some chalk. And the count will go to a ball and 2 strikes. He's never faced the Red Sox before. Rich Hill here at home has not had a decision. His ERA is over 12. All of the numbers, 3-2. His records on the road with a 4.5 ERA. And that fastball will miss up and in. And it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. He has pitched against Toronto and Atlanta here at Camden Yards. Non-decisioned in both games. Both games won by the Orioles. Breaking ball towards third. Melvin Moore, a big hop, long throw, and got it there in time. Bay is retired. But a big 2 RBI double by Pedroia. The Orioles will try and get back. Aubrey Huff, Nolan Reimold, and Luke Scott coming up. A 4-0 lead. That was the final score of the ball game last night as the Orioles got shut out for the 4th time this year. Aubrey Huff. Aubrey had an 0 for 4 in the game. He is 9th in RBIs in the American League. Smoltz's delivery on a check swing. They want to go to third. Jerry Lane says he went around. Oriole hitters were held down in the ball game to the 6 singles last night, and they were scattered throughout the 9 innings. 0-2 delivery to Huff. Second base, Pedroia. For John Smoltz, a lifetime of pitching.
Well, it really is, and His best year as a starter, he's 24-8 when he won that Cy Young Award in 1996, and then 55 saves 2 years after having Tommy John surgery in 2002. It's like 3 straight years of 45, 44, 55 saves, and he was comeback player of the year. I mean, that's so not only the elbow, but the labrum tear, which is what was repaired last June 10th.
Nolan Reimold had a 1 for 4 in the ball game last night. What a great rookie season he is having. That one high in the air to left field. Bay. He's got it. Reimold retired. Nolan's getting a lot of recognition for Rookie of the Year mention. In the first 41 games rookie season, his comparison with Cal and with Eddie Murray.
Yeah, you'd like to just kind of not only do it in your first year, but just kind of pace those 2 guys for the rest of your career and take your chances up at Cooperstown, as they both ended up there. Cal with what, 428 home runs, over 3,000 hits. Eddie with over 3,000 hits and over 500 home runs. One of 4 players in the history of the game to do that.
Reimold's got the great start going, and he seems to have the not only physical talents but mental capacity to handle this major league level work.
Boy, he put a great swing on that pitch, and Smoltz will remember it because it was about maybe a quarter of an inch from being a home run. He just popped it up.
Luke Scott back in as a DH, did not play last night, and the delivery to him is taken down low for a ball. This is Smoltz's 468th start in his 710th game. He has pitched 3,400 innings, the ERA of 3.27, and the only pitcher with the 200+ wins and 150 saves. That is just outside. Scott works into a 3-0. He's got 210 wins and 148 losses in his career. 3-0 delivery taken. It is in there for a strike. Orioles need base runners early. 3-1.
Yeah, we talked about there is Dennis Eckersley, who is a Hall of Famer. There we go. That's 390 saves. I didn't realize it was that many. I know that I used to pitch against him when he was a starter coming up.
And that's in there for a strike. Luke Scott didn't like that one, and the count goes to 3-2.
Well, not only did change up, splitter, tumbler right here. Check out the pitch track off the plate.
Well, the Orioles last night were really unhappy with the home plate umpire strike zone Jerry Lane, and they're not much happier tonight with Randazzo.
Man, all they want him to do is throw it over. And you know what? Good pitcher staffs are going to take advantage of an umpire who's going to give you pitches off the plate.
Here's that 3-2 delivery, and that is outside. First walk surrendered, first base runner for the Orioles. Scott on with 2 down here in the second inning. Great look at the ballpark on this beautiful evening. Just a great night to be here at the Yard. Last night, some 36,500 plus on hand for the ball game.
And you hope that Melvin Mora, I mean, not that Melvin hasn't been hitting, because he has. He's hitting 20 of his last 27, but not a lot of extra base hits. Get him on, he'll get him in. Not a lot of opportunities, but you know, he's working on 159 at bats without a home run. You don't need a home run here. Double. Hoping you can score him, get on the board, and make John Smoltz, because the last thing John Smoltz at age 42 with all those wins wanted to do is walk Luke Scott. A little bit was respect because he's such a good hitter.
1-0 delivery. Snap throw to first base. No chance. Bailey moving in behind with Veritek the throw. On the extra base hit department, Melvin only has 6 doubles and 2 home runs. And the extra base hits, 55 hits total. So a lot of singles. 1-1 delivery on the way, and there's the slider, and that is in there for a strike. Melvin Mora with a 1-ball 2-strike count. The Red Sox have the early 4-0 lead in the ball game. Orioles looking for their first hit off Smoltz. O's have lost the last 2. Red Sox on a road trip where they've gone 5-2 so far. Look where Veritek is set up. Look at that. That one hit to right field. And that'll be hauled in. Play made by Baldelli. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. Red Sox lead it 4-0. Felix Pie is in the game. Adam Jones is out after crashing into the wall. We'll get an update as we can on his condition. First inning, Youkilis hit it.
Yeah, great effort, and he just runs into the wall with a lot of parts of his body. Last night took a home run away from Youkilis. Tonight that was not the case. Well, going a little bit farther.
Stayed in the ball game for half an inning, but now is out of there. So PA will come on and hit in the number 2 spot. Ortiz delivered a double. He's got a 5-game hit streak. 24 career home runs against the Orioles. The 4th most against any given team. He's had more against Tampa Bay, Toronto, and the Yankees. And then comes Baltimore. Rich Hill has given up the 4 runs on 5 hits. He's walked 2 and struck out 1. Sidearmed him and got him on the off-speed pitch.
Well, take that, Big Poppy. Great pitch right here. And if you're Rich Hill, it almost looks like he's got a changeup grip, but it's a big sidearm curveball, and that's what he'll do to lefties. And boy, does he make a great pitch. Ortiz doubled up the gap to left center field his first time up. So if you're down 4 runs, all you can do is try to shut the door and hope that the Orioles can come up with some offense before the game ends.
Jason Varitek. That pitch will be taken up high. He drew a walk, 1 of 2 surrendered in the ball game. As Varitek on the current road trip has hit 7 for 20 with a homer, 6 RBIs. He's had a good 7 games on this road trip for the Red Sox. Red Sox have won 6 consecutive series. Trying to win this ball game, which would give them 7 in a row. 1-1 delivery on the way. Varitek takes the strike on the outside corner, 1 and 2. Looks like he is really crowding the plate on Rich Hill a little more than he normally does. He's right up on top of it. Those arms over the plate. 1-2 delivery. That one in the air to left field. Reimold coming over into foul territory, and there'll be no play. And he needs a new piece of lumber.
Well, he eventually signed with the Red Sox, but you mentioned the fact that he already has 11 home runs. He only had 13 last year. He's only 12 RBIs away from what he accomplished in all of 2008. He turned 37 early April. But the one thing, if you look at his front foot, timing was horrible last year, trying to get it down quicker. And it looks to me, yeah, the bat's gotten a little bit slower, but he looks for balls in the middle of the plate. And he's a strong guy, both sides of the plate.
And in great shape.
Yep.
We're catchers who can continue behind the plate as long as he has. You got to work at it. That one to second base. Ryan Roberts up with it. And Varitek is retired, and there are 2 down here in the 3rd inning. The word is on Adam Jones. He is out of there for precautionary reasons day to day. And they just want to make sure he's all right. I got to believe they'll be a little concerned about concussion.
Yeah, you would think that might be the case, the way he hit that wall.
Oof. Here is Baldelli. Rocco Baldelli will take it outside. He grounded out his first time up. Baldelli's a great story as he's had to battle his way back. That ball popped up in the air to right center field. PA over. And he's got it. So Hill comes back and retires the side in order. Game 2 with a 3-game set with the Red Sox leading 4-0.
Back at the yard, it's been well documented. Matt Wieters went to the same college as Jason Varitek, Georgia Tech. And Matt told me growing up in South Carolina, most kids wanted to go to Clemson or South Carolina, but not him. He said he first fell in love with Georgia Tech when he was just 8 years old by following that 1994 team that Jason Varitek was on, along with Nomar Garciaparra and Jay Payton. They went to the College World Series. They did lose to Oklahoma, but he said that's when he started liking Georgia Tech, and that had a big influence on him choosing to go to school there. Once he was in college, he had a chance to meet Jason Varitek, who would come back to speak at banquets, and he had a chance to pick another switch-hitting catcher's brain, one that had gone to the big leagues. So Varitek was an influence in his life, but interestingly, Gary and Jim, another big influence was John Smoltz. Wieters would watch Brave games in South Carolina and said he learned a lot from watching the pitchers like Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox. Gary?
Yeah, and he said it's going to be a whole lot different standing in the batter's box watching him than standing in front of the TV and watching him.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Matt and his dad used to actually watch the games and call pitches, like pretty not easy to do, but a lot easier with Smoltz and Glavine and Maddox.
2-0 delivery is going to be taken inside. He went around the home plate umpire, Randazzo making the call on him. And a 2-ball 1-strike count on Wieters, who had a 1 for 4 in the ball game.
I wonder if he would have called a 2-0 slider. Tells you a little bit what Smoltz can do on the mound. I don't care if he's 42.
He still has command. 2-1 delivery on the way. That ball hit in the air to left field. At his way back at the wall, Jason Bay with room, and he's got it. Wieters gave it a ride. Bay able to haul it in. Your chance to save on tickets to upcoming O's games. Pick up some exclusive memorabilia. Orioles rookie flex pack. Save on tickets for upcoming games, including a prime game. Limited time. Purchase 2 seats. Get an autographed photo of Nolan Reimold. 4 seats. Autographed picture of Matt Wieters. 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. Andino with a 4-game hit streak. Andino with a 5-game hit streak. And there's the first hit off Smoltz for the O's.
Well, the one thing about John Smoltz, great stuff, great command, but he is going to throw the ball over the plate. And most of the time, at least early on, until he goes for the corners, you're going to probably get a pitch to hit. It doesn't mean you swing at balls. And Robert Andino, again, showing us he can certainly field at the major league level. But Terry Crowley, his hitting instructor, said that the fact that he's had a chance to play for just, almost a month now certainly helped his stroke.
Runner on, first base hit with 1 down. Brian Roberts, top of the order, grounded out his first time up. From time to time, as we show you shots, especially from center field, keep an eye on Varitek behind the plate, because I swear he's doing the Javi Lopez Atlanta thing. Sometimes when he sets up for Smoltz, he is out of the catcher's box, those chalk lines that he's supposed to stay in, and he sets up at that angle. Great scoop right there. There were a lot of arguments when it was Smoltz and Glavine and Maddox in Atlanta that the catcher was setting up illegally, setting up outside the box and at an angle for the umpire to see the pitch that really wasn't a strike but looked like one because of the angle that it came in on. And sometimes Jason Varitek in this game looks like he's doing the same thing Javi Lopez used to do. Move around in the catcher's box at a little different angle. See where that left foot is? Ball hit in the air to left field. Bay again back. Bay again's got it.
Well, another thing that Varitek does so well, we talked about it, he'll give you a sign, he'll relax a little bit, and he really does give you a very good sign, but what he's trying to do is center the middle of his body on the outside corner. And if you're wide, and Jason, of course, not as big as Matt Wieters, in a much wider stance, that center sometimes brings that foot out. So again, it's and of course what you like to do is
look at this. See how he does that? He'll jump away, give the pitcher the good target. Brian Roberts had the argument on that call last night and was clearly right on that one call. I asked a couple of the other players today, and they said they didn't think that the strike zone was extremely out of key for what really was a strike, but they all said, look, there was one on Roberts. It really was, and it was frustrating.
Yeah, Euclid thought it was actually the pitches that, even though he got called out on a curveball, he thought was questionable in the inside quarter. He thought maybe they gave the Oriole pitchers, didn't matter really to Boston because they won 4-0, balls down. So it was in and out, up, and I mean everybody had a
nobody ever agrees on that.
Yeah.
Felix Pie gets his first at bat as he came in for Adam Jones, and he's going to get a base hit in the gap in right center field. Andino will make the turn. Andino's going to be waved home. The ball is bobbled. Pie's going to think about 3. Throw's going to come to the plate, and he's got it. It'll be a triple, I believe. In any event, it's an RBI, and the Orioles are on the board. It is 4-1, and down in the outfield is Baldelli, who had a tough time picking up that ball.
Well, Terry Crowley said today, and Felix Pie comes in 5 for 11 in the month of June. He said if he gets to play, and you certainly don't want to happen as he legs this into a triple, that's to dodge the helmet. He said his completely different swing than when he came over in spring training. So right there, he scorches a triple up the gap. The Orioles get on the board, albeit they do it with 2 outs. But again, right here, you got a guy that can certainly get him in, and all of a sudden you're back in the ball game.
Nick Markakis called out on strikes his first time up. So the Orioles now with a couple of hits and a run off Smoltz. And Nick Markakis, a strikeout victim, his first time up, as the Orioles will try and get another with PA over there at third base.
Well, there is no bigger fan for the Oriole hitters than their hitting instructor, Terry Crowley. But he did a whole 5 minutes on Felix Pie, finally getting a stance and shortness of the swing. Of course, you don't want him to have to play because of an injury of Adam Jones. There is the Crow. And again, very loyal to his guys. But again, if you're willing to put in the time, as it is with Dave Maggin and a lot of the hitting instructors, you are going to have a better swing. Now, can you take it up to home plate and get hits? That's the problem sometimes.
Not enough to get a starting job yet.
Not yet.
Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way. Markakis got jammed. Veritek over. And he's got it. So the Orioles will get a run on a couple of hits and leave a base runner on. But they're on the board against Smoltz. It is now a 4-1 Red Sox lead. There you have it. 4-5-0 through 3 for the Sox. 1-2-0 for the Orioles. Red Sox winning the opener last night by a score of 4-0. And Rich Hill on the mound. A couple of walks, 2 strikeouts. Jacoby Ellsbury, a member of the Colorado River Indian Tribes, a Navajo. He made his debut on this date in 2007. 2 years ago, his first game in the major leagues for the Red Sox, and the first Navajo to play baseball at the major league level.
Yeah, had a great AAA year at Pawtucket and then hit 353, and that year in the World Series 438.
And he drills that one to right center field. What a ride. Celebrate the day. Goodbye home run. Jacoby Ellsbury, the second home run for the Red Sox in the ball game, and they get that run right back. It is 5-1.
Yeah, you always get the feeling, and we saw the miles per hour. They don't tell you the whole story, but if you're going to pitch up in the strike zone, I don't care if it's the Red Sox or Kansas City, whatever, at 86 miles per hour, you're going to speed up the bat, and this ball is clouted. No doubt about it.
Home run number 4 for Jacoby Ellsbury. Boy, did he get that.
Oh, did he ever. And Smoltz gives up a run, and they get one right back.
Next batter. 25 RBIs for him. And 5 runs on 6 hits off Rich Hill, so not a good outing. Here is Jeff Bailey. Ellsbury, 2 on the road, 2 at home in the homer department. That will be fouled off. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Only 3 home runs surrendered in the previous 8 games by Rich Hill. He has given up 2 in this one. And the first home run in the left-hander. Here's the 1-1 delivery. And a pitch on the outside corner for a strike, and it goes to 1-2 to Bailey.
But the concern is that 4 of the 5 home runs have come in the last 2 starts. One a change up and down in Florida, another one a fastball.
Kind of a check swing by Bailey foul.
It just doesn't seem, and I don't know if it's a wind-up issue or whatever, that Rich can create as much arm speed as he would like. Maybe just can't get quite on top of the curveball, so it rolls a little bit. We saw that first pitch of the game, or first batter, Lugo. And then the fastball can't always finish him. So again, 88 to 91 is not bad if the ball has carry through the hitter. In other words, you're throwing it past the hitter to the catcher. And maybe not the intent you're going to make him have him swing and miss, but your delivery is sound.
1-2 delivery, and that is fouled off. And the continuing problem, as it has been for the Orioles, and the growing pain part of this organization now, the starters not being able to get into ball games. They've pitched the fewest innings as starters in the American League, which means you overwork the bullpen, and it's been the ongoing story for the Orioles. Even when the offense was delivering some runs, the ERAs were just too high, and largely because of starters going 5 1/3 or 4+ innings. That's just very tough game after game. 2-2 delivery swung on, fouled off. That got a Potter Wieters.
And then as you progress and you get into the year, I mean, the good news is that when we look at Rich Hill, he came over last year. He had back problems with the Cubs. He had calf problems. Didn't pitch poorly when he was pitching, but not good enough for Lupinelli. Sent him to the minor leagues after going 11-8 the year before. Struggled in spring training with elbow problems.
2-2 slow roller. Mora, 1 chance and 1 only, and he won't get him. Infield hit Bailey. You take a look at the difference, and everybody knows, Oriole fans know, what a struggle it is in this American League East with the caliber of play. Here's the whole story. Against the American League East this year, the Red Sox are 21-8. The O's are 10-17. You see the 1-run games. Team batting average not bad. The runs per game, not enough. And that ERA, just way too high. But it is such a tough division.
Oh, it really is. And especially when you're playing the Red Sox. It's just not a good matchup. And it doesn't mean you can't play the game. I mean, you see this in the NBA all the time, where your team plays pretty well, but when they play certain teams, they're just better. They match up better. The Red Sox, you look at the numbers and go, well, you know what, Orioles, they're actually, we just saw the average in the American Leagues. They got a better batting average on the season, but they don't do the little things. They don't have the on-base percentage. They don't hit as many home runs. They're better in scoring position. They don't have as many opportunities when we talk about the Orioles. But to me, the bottom line is the Red Sox, day to day, they struggle with their starting pitching early. Now they got too many. And their bullpen is the best in the American League, best in the major leagues. And that's what they do day in and day out. Errors are about the same.
Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way. Down to third and foul. As was said by a couple of great managers in baseball history, if you have the horses, you win. And if you don't, you don't. It is really that simple.
Well, that's what Frank
and Yankees have it.
Again, we go back to Stan Kasten's quote. Terry Francona was saying, he said, he told me you were a dummy when you pitched in Philadelphia. And Terry said, yeah, now I'm a better manager because I have better players.
Sure. Well, Joe Torre couldn't manage at all in New York the first time around.
Nor St. Louis.
And all of a sudden he's writing books and it's the greatest thing that ever hit the managerial bench. And I say that with a smile. 1-2 delivery. Because I love him and he is a great manager. Swung on and got him. Lugo retired for the first time. He's had a couple of singles and runs scored. So what the Orioles are trying to do in this building process is get to that point where they can match up against the best in the East. That's what you have to do, because that's where you play, and that requires some real work by the front office. And you've got some players right now, and Rich Hill, who are here as an interim to get the Orioles through this stage. Dustin Pedroia taking up high for a ball.
And I think in fairness to Rich Hill, he comes over to the American League after missing pretty much all of last year. So again, he gets hurt, starts the year on the disabled list. I'm not trying to make excuses. He's got to learn how to pitch in this league. And that is, he's got to use all his pitches, and he just can't throw them. Because the first thing I heard, well, he's not a command guy. Well, you better be a command guy in the American League, because they have the DH. There's no soft spots in the lineup. Obviously, you do play the interleague games. Orioles were 11-7 in those. But day in and day out, you better be able to make your pitches and repeat them, repeat the windup. And you can see just, the Boston people came over. He said, gee, a lot of walks, 24 and 38 innings. Fastball command missing. That's what Eckersley said. I said, yeah, it wonders.
Yep.
And so you got to work on that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Dave Tremblay said before the game tonight. Got to have fastball command, and he's got to be able to get the curveball in for a strike in order for Rich to be successful. And struggle has been tonight commanding it, putting it where he wants it.
And it can't just be one of those rolling curveballs like we saw to Lugo, because not only Lugo but everybody, all the good hitters, are going to just leap on those.
Pedroia, 2 RBI double, 1 for 2 in the ball game. That is a fair ball. Mora bobbles, gets it, throws to first, way off the mark, and everybody is safe. Bailey goes down to second. Pedroia will reach.
Yeah, I would think that'd probably be an error, only because Melvin, that's not an easy play. He's going to have to go to his right. But again, right here, he's thinking too. You can see him look at second base, and when he does that, can't come up with a handle. Boy, he played so well over the weekend. So the infield roller by Bailey, and then right here, and it is scored an error. Not an easy play.
No. 6th error on Melvin Mora. We talk about the little things. This is one of them. The Orioles, when they've made errors this season, they've been converted into runs by opponents.
And then it depends where it happens. Now you're right back for the 3rd time into the heart of the lineup. And as you said, this guy's leading the American League with runners in scoring position. And the guy behind him is in what?
10th.
Yeah, 10th. And Pedroia was
2nd.
Yeah, so you get an idea of how good this lineup is.
Kevin Youkilis got his 13th home run in the first inning, 2 RBIs. Struck out his last time up, 1 down and 2 on, and the breaking ball will miss inside as the Orioles bullpen will be activated. 1 ball, 1 strikeout on Youkilis. Matt Albers up and hustling along here. One thing Rich Hill has done this season in the previous 8 starts, the Orioles have gone 6-2 in those games. That one down the line, left field. That is going to be a base hit. Youkilis has done it again. Bailey will score. They're going to wave home Pedroia. No. A drawing back. It'll be a double and 1 RBI for Youkilis. Pedroia initially was going to go, but a good play by Reimold to get it in a hurry. And Pedroia put the brakes on, kind of smiling there, and got back to third base. But it is a 6-1 Red Sox lead.
Well, again, just a great stroke inside the ball. Otherwise, that ball hooks foul. Nolan Reimold will get it to it very quickly. But again, right here, even though Bailey doesn't run well, he's going to score easily. He got on the roller, so a little bit unlucky for Hill. But then once those guys get on, when you get into the heart of the lineup, these guys could flat out hit. And now, because of the scoreboard, you're trailing 6-1. You're going to have to try to match up against Big Papi.
Load the bases up as Jason Bay will draw the intentional pass with 1 down, as the Orioles will hope to be able to get a double play ball off Ortiz, perhaps. Bay waiting on ball 4, his 3rd intentional pass of the season. RBI by Youkilis is his 3rd run batted in the ball game. He's now got 45 in the year. And David Ortiz will come up with the bases loaded and 1 out.
And he gets paid to drive the ball. For the Red Sox, 31, 41, 47, 54, 35, 23 last year with a wrist injury. No place to put him. Double and a strikeout for David Ortiz.
With the bases loaded this year, he's 2 for 7. Breaking ball is outside. Ortiz the double and a strikeout in this ball game. You see, he pitches backwards in a way. When he gets a strike, the average is higher than when he falls behind. And after 2-0, he's .95. It's supposed to be the other way around.
Well, I think that might be an aberration over the course of the season, but the numbers don't lie. Tonight's a little bit different. But I tell you what, and that's because he'll throw the curveball in any count.
Well, big chance right here. 1 ball, 1 strikeout. Ortiz close.
Well, you know, the one thing when I made out my scorecard, and you know, we talked about last night, shoulder injury, wrist injury, knee injury, but the one constant every time I made out my scorecard until last July, Manny Ramirez was hitting right behind David Ortiz.
Yep. 2-1 delivery break back, and he tried to tee up on that one.
I'll tell you what, T-ball right here, hanging curveball. But the deception there, you talked about the count. He's trying to hit the warehouse right there, and you've been oohing and ahhing the last 2 days of his batting practices.
Oh, he's been driving stuff on Utah Street and BP on a regular basis. 2-2 delivery, breaking ball again, and he just takes it where it's delivered. 1 run will score, and that's all. Throw will come into the plate from Reimold, and Ortiz, as he did in the first inning when he got a double, instead of trying to jam it out of the ballpark, he just takes it where it is.
Yeah, there's a curveball, ball 1. Good fastball, he swings through. 2-1 pitch, curveball, he tries to hit a home run, and then he serves it into left.
I mean, he's a better hitter than he was in the first 2 months.
Well, yes, but again, when you don't hit home runs and you're supposed to hit home runs, even though your hitting instructor's telling you go to left field, they say they don't pay me to hit soft singles, but it pays off here in the 4th inning for the Red Sox.
It's keeping him in the lineup right now, and the Red Sox don't mind it. Matt Albers out of the bullpen. And for the 2nd time this year, he lasts only 3 1/3 innings. And 7 runs, 9 hits so far, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts, 1 intentional, and a couple of home runs. And now Matt Albers will come on to try and quiet this down.
And he's certainly been able to do that, even though it's a tough situation. He came in on Saturday night with the bases loaded after Brian Bass with a 1-run lead, loaded him up and got out of it. It was one of those Houdini performances. So again, I don't think Dave Tremblay wants to bring Albers in this type of game, but he's been pitching so well. One of your chances, but I think you'd like to maybe keep him to closer games, but somebody has to come in, and he's been very, very good. And
7 runs on 9 hits for Boston. The bases remain loaded. The intentional walk to Bay does not work out as Ortiz delivers the hit. Now Veritek is walked and grounded out. He will take the pitch for a strike. He's got the bases loaded. The switch hitting catcher. 250 right-handed, 236 left-handed. 6 of his 11 home runs hit from this side of the plate. Albers with the 0-1 delivery to him, and will miss inside. 1-1.
I tell you, Albers has been so good. I mean, Matt's come in. He started the year labrum problem last year with his shoulder, rehabbed it, didn't have surgery. Started the season, was sent to Norfolk, came back, and he's been great. 13 1/3 innings, only 1 run. ERA of about 0.68.
Breaking ball. He got him to go after that one, and he missed it. And up on the count here, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Orioles bullpen, first 4 games of the homestand at a 1.26 ERA. Sherrill, Bass, and Albers combining for some outstanding numbers. Varitek 1-2, sacks full. Ooh, almost got him. Did get him. He is on. Boy, that is one Varitek called and not the umpire. The home plate umpire did not signal that he'd been hit by a pitch until Varitek started down, and that's what Dave Tremblay's coming out for.
Yeah, he's going to say, now let me get this right. Did you call it or did the captain call it? And again, he's a little frustrated. He really had to kind of hold back his words last night about the strike zone.
Yes, he did. And he's not going to be happy about this, because Tony Randazzo gave no signal that Varitek had been hit. And Dave is steaming up. Did he get hit?
And he didn't get hit.
He did not get hit. And he grabbed his elbow. Afterwards, when he realized there was no call, he kind of grabbed his elbow. Well, the ball wasn't even at his elbow.
I had Norm Cash pitch his back arm one time, and the umpire went for it in Tiger Stadium. But that is not a good call. Good acting, and it works.
It's an RBI.
Yep. Already.
That'll score Youkilis from third base with the 4th run of the inning. It is now an 8-1 ball game, but he was not hit. So Matt Albers will be charged with a hit batter. Varitek gets an RBI. Red Sox have now hit around, still only 1 away. 9th man up in the inning. Baldelli is grounded out and flied out, and this baby's getting ugly. Bay is on at third base, Ortiz on at second, and Varitek on at first. And the 0-1 delivery, check swing, missed inside with it. 1 ball, 1 strike count. 1-1, only 1 down. The only out, a strikeout to Lugo in the inning. Here's the 1-1 delivery, and that's going to miss. And Albers falls behind 2-1. Very tough situation here for Albers, trying to get the ground ball here and find a way to get out of this inning. Baldelli, see with the bases loaded, his career numbers. Fastball is going to be there for a strike, and the count goes to 2-2.
Boy, has he thrown the ball well. And when he came in with the bases loaded, nobody out on Saturday night with a 1-run lead, he got a ground ball to third and then a double play ball. But again, he had a lead and more adrenaline. Real tough to pitch when you're down by 6 runs. Now 7 runs. See ya.
Strike on the outside corner, and Albers gets a big strikeout as Bay continues hitless in the series, or Baldelli rather, in the game. 0 for 3. Now Ellsbury, who started this thing with a homer, will come up.
Yeah, it really doesn't get much better. This was what John Smoltz did to Adam Jones his first time up. Just painted that outside corner, nicely presented by Matt Wieters.
There are 2 down. Bases remain loaded. And the pitch will be taken inside. Jacoby Ellsbury's 4th home run, driven in the gap in right center field. Couple of hits in 5 at bats now in the series. And an 8-1 lead for the Red Sox. 1-0. Ellsbury will take that one for a strike, and it goes to 1-1. This Red Sox team just feasting on the Orioles pitching so far this season. With the 8 runs here, they have now scored 42 runs against the Orioles in 6 games while surrendering only 15. Fouled off down the line, and a 1-ball 2-strike count.
And again, I mean, there are better scoring teams, but they are 4th in runs. They are 3rd in home runs. On base percentage 3rd. Doubles, Fenway Park has a lot to do with that. 3rd. They do make you make good pitches, and if you cannot execute your pitches, it's going to be a long night.
Here's the 1-2 delivery, and that's going to be a base hit into right field. It will score Bay. Ortiz will stop as Markakis gets it in, and the station-to-station inning for the Red Sox continues, and it is a 9-1 lead.
Yeah, Matt Alberts, he elevates the ball, and I'll tell you what, Ellsbury, this is a guy in April. He was leading off, dragging the bat, totally different hitter. And it all started when Terry Francona, he may have some great players, but he's made some moves. He moved Ellsbury down the lineup, and all of a sudden the pressure is off, and his batting average zooming up towards 300.
10 hits, 9 runs, 10 hits. We're only in the 4th inning here. Slow ground ball to short, and Dino with a play at first, and that will do it. But 11 come to the plate, and it is a 9-1 Red Sox lead, 6 in the 4th.
On Sunday, July 12th, part of the Utah Street bleacher section at Oriole Park will be transformed into Baltimore's hottest new address, 2110 Utah Street, presented by First Fidelity Mortgage. Named for the uniform numbers of Orioles star outfielders Nick Markakis and Adam Jones, the section will be the place to be for all Adam and Nick fans. For $21, you'll get a reserved Utah Street bleacher seat for the Orioles versus Blue Jays 135 game, plus an exclusive I Live at 2110 Utah Street t-shirt. Nick and Adam will interact with fans by throwing balls into the stands between innings. Plus 105.7 The Fans Anita Marks, Jeremy Kahn, and Mark Zinno will be in the section visiting with fans during the game. Don't delay, space is limited. Visit Orioles.com. Gary?
All right, Aubrey Huff leading it off here. It is 9-10-0 for the Red Sox. The Orioles 1-2-1. For Hill, he gave up 9 runs, 8 earned on 9 hits over 3 1/3 innings. As in that 4th inning, that'll be taken away. I think we may change that earned and unearned runs, so I'll hang on and see where that ends up. A 1-ball 1-strike count. Only the 2nd time up for Aubrey Huff. All of the Red Sox have had 3 at-bats in the ball game. Fouled upstairs.
And John Farrell, the pitching coach for the Red Sox, right up on the railing to make sure that Smoltz would get his warm-ups after that long inning. The good news, you get all those runs. The bad news is you're on the bench a long time. I guess if you weren't coming off labrum shoulder surgery, it wouldn't bother anybody.
Pedroia's got that one, makes the play over first base. Aubrey Huff is retired. 1 away. Our leaderboard presented by Firestone, a tradition of innovation. Postseason wins. John Smoltz, #1, 15 of them. Followed by his teammate at Atlanta, Tommy Glavine, the Yankees, Andy Pettitte, Roger Clemens, Greg Maddux with Atlanta, Curt Schilling with the Red Sox. Those are the postseason win leaders. A check swing, a go to first, and he did not go around. Reimold flied out to left field. His first time up.
Yeah, 7-0 in the division series, 6-2 in the championship series, 2-2 with a very low ERA in the World Series.
1-0 delivery. Reimold chasing that one outside, and it goes to 1-1. 210 wins all came with Atlanta. Only one pitcher since '77's had more with one team. Tommy Glavine, his teammate. And of course, by coming back and playing, he may have disrupted the 3 of them going into the Hall of Fame at the same time, because Glavine may not pitch again. He hasn't decided. He's not going to pitch this year. Maddux is retired. If Smoltz had not come back, the 3 of them would have been qualifying for the Hall of Fame in the same year. That's not going to happen now. John's going to carry on. And maybe Tommy Glavine next year.
He said the reason he signed with the Red Sox is because he wanted to pitch in the postseason again. And again, they have a great shoulder program. They hired one of the trainers from
Reimold's got to get a base hit. That's going to fall in, and the Orioles a one-out single for Reimold here in the 4th inning.
Well, anyway, they got one of the trainers from James Andrews, the noted orthopedic surgeon. So he figured he could rehab. They were going to give him time. They have a lot of depth. Kind of interesting for Nolan Reimold. I said, have you ever faced a lefty like John Lester? He said, no, that was a first. And then he gets to face a guy that's going to the Hall of Fame the next night. And he got a hit last night, already hit tonight. It's a tough test for the Orioles. Anytime you look at the scoreboard and you're down by 8 runs. But again, even last night, down by 4 the entire ball game, they came back and they were 1 hit away from having a tying run at the plate.
Luke Scott was the man who was waiting on deck last night. He would have been a pinch hitter had not the great catch been made by Bay in left field to end the ball game on a Matt Wieters looping fly ball that he dove and caught. So Scott never got an at bat in the ball game. He's drawn a walk in this one. 1-0 delivery, a chopper to second base. Pedroia, 1 relay, Lugo. Wow, they get the double play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Quick inning for Smoltz. Red Sox on top here in game 2, 9-1. Don't forget the Orioles are going to be hosting a series of baseball camps, boys and girls, 7 to 16. It'll feature a 4-day instructional program, player appearances by a current and former Oriole, professional instructors, autographed photo opportunities, daily lunch giveaways, and complimentary O's tickets. Orioles.com. Click on Fan Forum to register and find out more. Matt Albers came on in the last inning. Rich Hill's line now. It's going to be 9 runs, 6 earned on 9 hits. As there were 3 unearned runs because of the error in that 5-run, 5-hit 4th inning. Here's the 0-1 delivery and a chopper towards the hole. Andino over, long throw, gains it and gets him. Lugo retired, 1 down. Oriole fans, when it comes to tickets, you deserve Major League service, so go to StubHub, official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Orioles. Day game tomorrow at 1:30. Then the Orioles will take off for the West Coast and have a 4-game series against the Angels. 10-10, 9, and a 3:30 game on Sunday. But don't forget tomorrow against Boston, wrapping up the homestand, 1:30.
Yeah, the B-boys, Beckett and Bergeson.
1 down here, Dustin Pedroia.
Yeah, Beckett coming off a game where he beat Atlanta. His record something like 6-0 with an 0.38 lifetime ERA, and then Brad Bergeson keeping the chart. He's been terrific for the Orioles. 5-2.
Albers gets the breaking ball in. Boy, the Red Sox are having batting practice here tonight. This is the 4th time up, and we're in the 5th inning. Pedroia's had a double, 2 RBIs. He reached on an error and scored in the 4th inning. Has also stolen a base. Strike taken on the outside corner. Matt Albers is trying to hold it right here as the Red Sox try and make it 9 consecutive against the Orioles going back to last year. Here's the 1-2 delivery and a ground ball not hit hard. You're going to have to hustle. Andino guns it. Good play.
Well, every play he seems to make, his feet are so fast. Even the ground ball by Lugo. But Cal Ripken did so well at shortstop, he would go into the hole and actually plant and catch the ball on his right leg. He did that on Lugo right here. He not only goes to his right, has to come in a little bit, and it's not like the Jeff Bailey, excuse me, but right here, Jerry Bailey, the jockey.
And a good one.
Yes, very good.
It's raining. Boy, is it dark. Kevin Youkilis already a very big ball game. A home run in the 1st inning, 2 RBIs, an RBI double in the 4th. He is 2 for 3 and has 3 RBIs. And you see the rain coming down and very, very dark clouds. Outside for a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike count. Youkilis now hitting at .315, 45 RBIs. Matt Albers out of the stretch and the 1-1 delivery.
Ooh.
Almost got him.
Yeah, almost really got him. You had to see the last inning to know what I was talking about, right?
Yes.
The phantom hit by pitch.
Veritek.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Tony Randazzo laughing at something. Yeah, see, there's Veritek going. Well, see, he almost got hit. I just faked it.
Here's the 2-1, and the breaking ball is going to miss inside, and a 3-ball, 1 strike count. Euclid with the bases empty. 3-1 delivery, ground ball, Andino knocks it down, no play. That'll be an infield hit. So Kevin Euclid has got a 3-hit ball game, and he's got a chance at the cycle as he's got a home run, a double, and a single.
Yeah, tries to smother it. A few balls he does not catch.
He's not going to get many infield hits. He's got 5 this year. Here's Jason Bay. Bay, an intentional pass, would end up scoring in the 4th inning. He's 0 for 2 in the game, 0 for 7 in the series. Down to 3rd and foul. And it's pouring, and I mean pouring. Jerry Lane, who's the crew chief, is down at 3rd base. Albers, here's the 0-1 delivered. It is in there for a strike. With 2 down here, trying to get through the inning. Lane looking over. The grounds crew's ready. Fans are moving.
Yeah, but you still, as an umpire, if it gets too heavy, you got to make sure, because you don't want any injuries.
0-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. Strikeout taken. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left on base. With the rain coming, Red Sox lead it 9-1. And we welcome you back to Oriole Park at Camden Yards as we get set to resume this ball game. It is still raining lightly. Showers are still around. The Red Sox have the 9-1 lead. Game will be about an hour and 15 minutes in the delay before we get this one started. Justin Masterson is the Red Sox pitcher on the mound who's going to come on to pitch. Take a look at our game summary. 9-11-0 for the Red Sox, 1-3-1 for the Orioles. Rich Hill, the Orioles starter, 3 in the 3rd innings, 7 earned runs, 9 total. Kevin Euclid, home run, double, single, 3 RBI ball game. Adam Jones out, a precautionary measure after he tried to make a running catch and ran into the center field wall. Here's the 24-year-old right-hander Justin Masterson to pick up for John Smoltz.
And he's used to pitching with a big lead against the Orioles. He pitched that Patriots Day game. The Red Sox won that day 12-1. And you talked about the disparity between the runs the Red Sox have scored, trying to make it 6 in a row over the Orioles this year, and Masterson charted that game.
And we're back in action. Ground ball by Mora, and Lugo makes the play. 1 down. So Smoltz gave up a run on 3 hits over 4 innings. Walked 1 and struck out 2. He will be non-decisioned in his 2nd start, and Masterson has a chance to do what they call in baseball, be a vulture. Swoop in and pick up a win under unusual circumstances.
Yeah, and then, of course, he's one of the part of this vaunted bullpen, the #1 earned run average in really all of baseball, American League. And he's got starter stuff. He's got a good sinker. He's got a good breaking ball, changeup. And of course, when he did get his 6 starts this year, it was because of Dice K, who's now back on the DL. Initially going on the DL early in the year.
Matt Wieters flied out to left his first time up. He will take the pitch for a strike. The Orioles got a run in the 3rd inning on a triple picked up by Felix Pie. He got the RBI, bringing home Andino, who had delivered a single ahead of him. Dave Tremblay's team staring at their 3rd loss in a row. Wieters swings and misses. He is gone, and Masterson comes on and gets 2 quick outs here in the 5th inning. Keep up with the latest Oriole news on your favorite social networking sites, Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/Orioles. You can become a fan of the Birds and the latest Oriole news and special ticket offers. And at Twitter.com/Birdland Insider. You can follow the O's, the first to learn behind the scenes info. Birdland, just click away. Robert Andino with a 1-strike count, a single and a run scored in the ball game. 1 more out and this thing's official. Andino hitting at 252, and the delivery to him will be fouled away. Play resumed at 9:48, so we had an hour and 11-minute rain delay in the ball game. 0-2 count. Masterson, 6 starts on the season. It'll be his 22nd appearance overall. Gives up a hit per inning. 59 pitch, 59 hits. The opponent's hitting .274 off him, but out of the bullpen recently, he's just been part of the great crew.
Yeah, and then what he does, because he's a sinker baller, I mean, he's given up 1 home run in his last 19 relief appearances. So he throws harder than Chad Bradford, who we saw here in Baltimore, now pitching for Tampa Bay.
0-2 delivery, swung on and fouled away. He's got a 2.28 ERA in 15 relief appearances. Righties hitting .243 and lefties .304 off Masterson. The only Jamaican-born pitcher in Major League history. He was born in Kingston, Jamaica, but grew up in Oregon.
But he's a perfect guy to maybe give you 2-3 innings because, again, his ability to start. Got called up last year and pitched very well, both out of the bullpen and as a starter.
He's worked as many as 4 innings in relief this season already. You love having these starters who go to the bullpen and get in these kind of ball games, or where your starter gets kicked out early. It's a big help. Swung on, foul tipped, held on to. So Masterson retires the side in order, including getting a couple of strikeouts after the rain delay. The Orioles go 1-2-3. 9-1, Red Sox on top after winning 4-0 in the ball game last night. Albers worked an inning and 2/3, gave up 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Mark Hendrickson now on.
Yeah, started the year actually as a starting pitcher, a little bit of a struggle. 1-4, 6.35 ERA. Moved to the bullpen, 13 bullpen innings or appearances, and only given up 8 earned runs, 3.60 ERA. So numbers coming down against lefties as he will face the lefty David Ortiz here in the 6th.
Ortiz, 5-game hit streak. He's had a double and a single in this game, 2 for 3, and an RBI. So he's picked up a couple of hits in 7 at-bats in these 2 games. Ortiz on the big cut, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Red Sox have just had a field day at the plate as these hitters are into their 4th at-bat in the ball game. 1-ball, 1-strike count. The delivery to him is going to be muscled foul back into the seats as we go to the 6th inning. And for the Red Sox, boy, if David Ortiz is really back and is going to be able to produce, even if it's not maybe with as many of the long balls and home runs, maybe at just the right time with Mike Lowell going on the DL today with a hip problem. Grounded to second into the shift. That's Andino, the shortstop. Ortiz retired.
Yeah, that would be huge. I mean, Lowell with the arthritis had the hip operation and had the Synvisc where they put the fluid in. They actually took about 15 cc's of fluid out of that hip. He said it was really more the pain. Apparently the hip is actually all right. So Synvisc, they put it in knee joints, and it's kind of a fluid to help with maybe kind of lubricating the joint, whether it's your hip or your knee.
So they hope he'll be ready after the All-Star break, as they were able to make the DL retroactive. Pitch will be taken by Veritek. Veritek delivered a masterful performance in the 4th inning, alleging he was hit by a pitch and winning the battle, getting an RBI when the bases were loaded. He's walked and grounded out. And a big cut on the left-hander, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Yeah, Mark Hendrickson, 88, occasionally 90, good changeup, big overhand curveball. For him, he's no different than anybody else that's not overpowering. Keep the ball down, stay out of the middle of the plate, change speeds, and when he pitches well, that's exactly what he does. 6'8".
Veritek lays off the off-speed breaking ball, 2-1. As a reliever, he has pitched to a 3.60 ERA. This is the 14th time out of the bullpen. A much better ERA than when he was a starter at 6.35. 2-1 delivery on the way. Veritek on a cut on a ball down and away, 2-2.
Actually, he's 6'9". I don't want to. Well, it shouldn't make a whole lot of difference, but
when you're rebounding, it does.
Yes, it does. And he did play for 4 NBA teams. One of 12 players that played both in the NBA and Major League Baseball. He only lives right up the road in York, Pennsylvania. Born in Washington. Well, he's kind of like a local guy. York about 45 miles up the road. Interstate 83, just across the Pennsylvania line.
A lot of good Oriole fans there.
Oh yeah, for years.
2-2 strike count. Veritek off the mask of Wieters. That's twice Wieters is making a shot in this ball game that's come right back off the bat. And when it's by the opposing catcher, it just really makes you upset. Oh, that's by that collarbone protection, but nevertheless. 2-2 strike count. Veritek goes down swinging. Hendrickson picks up the strikeout, and there are 2 down. This copywritten telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles.
And that little pad on Matt Wieters' right shoulder, pretty important.
A chopper back to the mound. Valdelli retired. So Hendrickson comes on and sets the side down in order. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Red Sox 9 and the Orioles 1. And it's time to bring you up to speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind.
Yeah, the 42-year-old right-hander, second major league start of this season, looking for win number 211. Well, here we are, fastball to Adam Jones, another one that Markakis thought was a little bit low. But again, there is the Rapid Rewind, and the Orioles didn't want that.
AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered.
I think that's the disappointment of the rain delay, just to see how far John Smoltz could have pitched for that lead.
1-0 delivery. Brian Roberts 0 for 16. Well, Brian in a little free fall right now, batting at .278, 7 homers on the season. He has grounded out and flied out in this ball game. Masterson's pitch to him is going to catch the outside corner for a strike. Masterson against the Orioles this year, 1 game, did it as a starter. 5 1/3 innings, 1 run, 4 hits in the ball game. He's got a 2-0 lifetime record against the Orioles. Orioles have never done anything against Justin Masterson. In the 3 games, 1 start, 9 1/3 innings, 1 run, 5 hits. So his ERA against the Orioles is .96.
So that was that 11 o'clock game, the Patriots Day game up in Boston. And
the night game, as Dave Tremblay said.
Yeah, seemed like it. The Red Sox hitters would put 12 on the board that morning and afternoon. He just has real good stuff. It's a matter, because he's a big kid at 6'5", whether he can just keep it together. 96, got a good changeup, got a sharp breaking ball.
And only 24 years old. 2-2 strike count. Brian Roberts trying to kick it off for the Orioles, who have only 3 hits in the ball game. Ooh, nasty biting pitch. Boy, that is unhittable right there. That's 3 consecutive strikeouts for him.
Yeah, it's a slider that just starts somewhere about the middle of the plate and just keeps on coming. Again, thrown very hard, 87.
That's about the perfect video if you wanted to show somebody how a slider moves, right there.
Well, again, we think. I mean, I think of when I signed with the Orioles, it was Milt Pappas had probably the best right-handed slider, along with Earl Wilson and people like that, and then the lefties, the Loliches, the Sparky Lyles, the Ron Guidry's, Steve Carlton, who's got the second most. Yeah, exactly. You know, it starts at your front leg and ends up at your back leg. John Smoltz, of course, we didn't get to see him pitch more than 4 innings, but always know not only does he throw hard and pinpoint control with a splitter, but he's always had one of the great right-handed sliders in baseball history.
1 ball, 1 strike count. PA's delivered the lone RBI with a triple. This time he goes to short. Lugo. Light rain continuing to fall here as the Orioles. What's going on here? There are only 2 down. The entire Red Sox team has left the field. There are 2 outs. How about that? There are only 2 outs in the inning. The whole Red Sox team left the field. I have never seen that before. That's unbelievable. Kevin Youkilis.
You know, I don't know if we have any way of showing it, but somebody had to go first.
Well, Masterson.
Yeah.
Went.
Yeah.
Watch Justin Masterson, the pitcher.
Okay.
2 down. That's enough. I'm out of here.
Yeah, well, I'm a reliever.
I got to go.
Yeah, 2's enough.
And everybody followed him. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. DeMarlo Hale, their third base coach, is coming, kind of walking down the dugout going, wait a minute. I think we need to get another one.
That's when nobody's sure anymore. You think you know,
right.
But you know, now you're wondering, wait a minute.
Well, at least it wasn't a Milton Bradley where you throw it in the stands.
With somebody running around the base.
Yes, exactly.
Look at Mike Winters. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Marquez was standing at the plate like, don't I get an at bat here? He was talking to the home plate umpire, Tony Randazzo, like, I'm supposed to hit.
And you know the umpires would, hey, if they want to go off the field, the Orioles would go for it. We'll get home a little earlier.
Everybody's happy with that?
Yeah.
0-2 delivery, swung on and missed. Wow. 4 strikeouts of 6 hitters by Justin Masterson. Red Sox continue on top here, 9-1. They're 3 down, Dustin. It's okay now.
Back at the yard, everybody, time to check in on some news and notes from around the major leagues. A lot of player movement, some trades today, as the Yankees get Eric Hensky and the Pirates get Lastings Milledge and Joe Hanrahan. The Nationals get Niger Morgan, so a lot of movement there. And also some All-Star voting news. Kevin Youkilis goes ahead of Mark Teixeira in the All-Star voting. Gary, Jim?
You're looking at that top one with Hensky's acquisition by the Yankees down in the field today. Someone was saying, what is that all about? Why would they do that? They've already got a lot of players who aren't playing. Well, apparently it's about Hideki Matsui, and they're concerned about whether his knees are going to hold up. He can only DH, and there's apparently some concern whether he'll be able to continue to do that.
And a lot of people forget how good a year that Eric Hensky had for the Rays last year. He had 20 home runs. Actually, we think of him as a DH, but he played right field for him for a lot after they traded Delman Young over to the Twins for Matt Garza and Jason Bartlett. So it was, again, I always like Hensky because he knows how to hit.
And every team he's on wins.
Yeah, well, that's another little thing.
He just moves around from winter to winter. It's raining hard again.
Yeah. And they came out and put the diamond dust, whatever you want to call it, at home plate, pitcher's mound, some of the infield spots. Grass drains very well here. The big concern is the actual infield and pitching mound and home plate.
It's never stopped raining since it started at about 8:37. Those are very affordable, reusable, recyclable umbrellas right there that she has on her head. You might want to think about acquiring one of those. Here's the 1-2 delivery, grounded to short. Andino, slippery ball, running throw, and a good one.
Well, does he ever make a bad throw?
Plays, doesn't he?
The Philadelphia Philly advanced scout Gordon Lakey said, I said, what do you think about Andino? He said, well, I saw in the first 4 innings him make 3 different throws from different angles. Well, here's your 4th one, Gordon. Right on the money. With a wet ball, wet field.
And Ellsbury running.
Yes, another factor.
Probably the fastest guy in the game right now in the American League. Here is Jeff Bailey. Bailey just called up today, has delivered a walk, scored, single scored, and he has grounded out, coming up to take Mike Lowell's place from AAA Pawtucket. 1 strikeout, 1 down. Bailey trying to keep the bat dry. Hendrickson, the 0-1 delivery in the air to right field. Nick Markakis backing up at the wall. Nick goes up and it bounds away. Gonna get a triple out of this. Bailey on his way to third will go in standing as the throw is cut off. Welcome back to the majors.
Yeah, one of those plays that Nick, because he thinks he has a chance, and of course you play center field here at Camden Yards, you better back him up, especially when you go to the wall to try to catch it. So again, short porch and right, and Bailey, International League Player of the Year last year because of a nice effort by Markakis. And right here he goes, you know what? This might be more than a double. And PA late getting to it, and it is. And I guess in a 9-1 game, it doesn't mean a whole lot, but obviously the Orioles don't want him with less than 2 outs at third base. Second base would have been a little bit better place to have him roost.
Second triple we've seen in the ball game tonight. Felix PA has one for the Orioles and an RBI, and Bailey gets one. So he's on with 1 away, and Lugo has already delivered 2 singles, 2 for 4, and 2 runs scored in the game. Gets another RBI chance. Hendrickson with the 0-1 delivery. Inside out foul ball outside of first, and there will be no play on it. And a 2-strike count on Julio Lugo. decision will have to be made with Lugo being the backup shortstop for the Red Sox as to what they will do when Lowry is ready to play. Lowry is in rehab right now and playing games on rehab assignment in the minor leagues. And Nick Green, who's played so well for them, in all likelihood will be gone once Lowry's back. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way. Breaking ball that he held up on. They want to go to first. No. Chris Guccione down there.
Yeah, I was talking to Julio Lugo before the game, and he had knee surgery on March 17th, and he was back playing the end of April. So he didn't swing. Able to held up, and he said probably came back prematurely. He usually takes 6 to 8 weeks, but because of the wrist injury for Lowry that happened last year, thought it was all right in spring training, and then it seemed to resurface.
Lugo on a breaking ball, blocked by Wieters. 2-2.
And they kind of rushed him back, and then Green's playing well. He's not playing well, and it wasn't that he was actually missing balls. It wasn't he was getting to a lot of balls. And I said, so how did it, as an infielder, that knee manifest as far as your ability to field? He said, well, when you get in a crouch, it hurt. Well, that's how you catch a ground ball.
Don't get on the crouch.
Yeah.
Here's the 2-2.
And he didn't.
And he didn't get the ground ball.
No, that's the problem. And of course in Boston, they've had over 500 consecutive sellouts, but they like you to catch the balls you're supposed to catch.
Yes, they do. Runner at third base, one down is Bailey. 12 hits on the board now for the Red Sox. 3-2 delivery. Breaking ball, swung on and missed off speed. Hendrickson gets the strikeout, his second, and there are 2 down. And we will remind you, space is limited to join Nick Markakis, Adam Jones, Sunday, July 12th at their new address, 2110 Utah Street. It's presented by First Fidelity Mortgage. For just $21, you get a reserved Utah Street bleacher seat, exclusive I Live at 2110 Utah Street t-shirt. Hope you'll call in 888-848-BIRD, Orioles.com. Get your seats for 2110 Utah out there in right center field. Here is Dustin Pedroia, the man who between innings went over to the dugout and pointed at himself and said, it's my responsibility that we ran off the field. Now home plate umpires getting into the Orioles dugout.
Well, that curveball was right down the middle, and of course Dave Tremblay said, hey, because again they didn't like the strike zone early on. I don't think it would have had anything to do obviously with the Red Sox with 9 runs to the outcome. But right there, the whole dugout on a curveball that looked like it appeared to me that it was a strike, yelling it couldn't have been low, because Pedroia, obviously a little guy that's an awfully good player, MVP last year.
Obviously the Orioles frustrated players and manager because of the way the first 2 games have gone here, but also they haven't liked the strike zone last night and some of the calls tonight. And Tony Randazzo took the mask off and started talking to somebody, and Dave Tremblay came out to protect the bench. Pitch will be taken outside, and a 2-0 count. Pedroia's got 2 RBIs. He has scored when he reached on an error in the 4th inning. There are 2 unearned runs on the board for the Red Sox. Pedroia started the day 5th in runs scored in the American League. And the pitch to him will be taken outside, and the count falls to 3-0.
Well, you talked about it earlier. I mean, a guy that just figures out how to play the game. Dave Tremblay saw him early on. He was a shortstop when he first was managing, I guess, a AA, then a AAA. He was the second baseman. And I asked him, I said, were you a shortstop at Arizona State? He was a number 2 draft choice. He said, not only was I a shortstop, I was the back-to-back defensive collegiate shortstop of the year. And Terry Francona said, yeah, we put you at short and you threw grenades over there at Yankee Stadium.
3-1 delivery laced to center field. PA will have to play it on hot. So Pedroia gets another hit, a single and a double, and the 3rd time that he has been on base. You can tell from the crowd, a lot of Red Sox fans are still here.
And then, of course, Pedroia said, what are you, a scout now? Thought you were my manager.
Little of each.
Yes, he is.
13 hits in the ball game for the Red Sox. Runner on first base, Bailey. Now 10-1, came across and scored. Pedroia gets another RBI. He's got 3 of those in the ball game now. He has 3 RBIs. Youkilis 3 RBIs.
Well, their runner in scoring position numbers. I mean, Youkilis came in number 1 in the American League with Pedroia right behind him at 366, and both of those averages have gone up.
Kevin Youkilis with a big cut. Youkilis, his 13th home run in the first inning, 2 RBIs, doubled, RBI, and scored in the 4th, and singled in the 5th inning. So Kevin Youkilis, if he could pick up a triple, will have the cycle. 0-2 delivery to him. And Hendrickson comes inside, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
You know, this Red Sox team reminds me of some of those Yankee teams that won 4 out of 5 World Series, where they didn't have, well, maybe they would have, what, one guy that would hit 30-plus home runs? That was Tino Martinez, but they would just work the count. They'd use the whole field.
Alvin Mora gets the big hop. Second base force out to Brian Roberts, and that'll do it, but a run in. 2 hits. Red Sox extend their lead. 7th inning stretch time brought to you by Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink responsibly. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here are the candidates tonight. Youkilis, home run, 3 hits, 3 RBIs in the game. Pedroia, he's got 3 RBIs and a run scored. And John Smoltz, who started it, 1 run, 3 hits over 4. He'll be non-decisioned in the game. Text in your vote A, B, or C to 518-62. George Gutierrez will come on to do the catching now. Just give a break for Varitek out. Varitek had an RBI when he was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded in the game. And Gutierrez will catch as Masterson on. He has retired all 6 face, 4 strikeouts out of the bullpen in relief of John Smoltz.
Yeah, he's doing his Goose Gossage impression tonight.
Aubrey Huff will get a base hit into right field. Baldelli over to get it. And Huff is on with a leadoff single here in the 7th inning.
So now Aubrey 1 for 3 lifetime off of Justin Masterson. And the one thing he does, even when he gives up hits, he's yet to give up any extra base hits or home runs.
Orioles get their 4th hit of the ball game. 1 extra base hit, a triple. They had 6 hits last night. They were all singles. Nolan Reimold. Reimold has singled, 1 for 2 in the game. Reimold continues to be up among the leaders in rookies offensively in the American League, and certainly because of that is already drawing a good deal of attention around Major League Baseball with the discussion of Rookie of the Year, which will heat up as the second half of the season gets underway. In the Triple Crown rookie category, he is 2nd in average, 1st in home runs, and 1st in RBIs. 1-ball, 1-strike count to him with Huff on at first base. That one towards right field. That's going to be a base hit. Huff will stop at second. Reimold's on with his 2nd hit, 2 for 3. 2 on and nobody out.
Yeah, and he'll take a jam shot for a base hit, 2nd of the night. I'll tell you, so strong. He fights this ball off. Pretty good fastball. And again, an inside-out swing. You'll see it from right here. Keeps the hands inside, not around. And then Pedroia, of course, you know he wants to get dirty. He dives and can't come up with it.
Feels better, though.
I thought you called it last night. What, the 2nd inning? He had dirt all over his uniform. He hadn't
done anything.
No. Well, he had done something. He just hadn't there. See, there you go. I think he came out tonight with that dirt spot.
They put the big shift on here with Luke Scott up. He's hit into a double play and drawn a walk in the ball game. Nobody out and 2 on. Off speed delivery on a breaking ball. And a big swing for the strike. Masterson now working out of the stretch here as the Orioles try and get some of these runs back and just feel a little, at least get to feel a little bit better about it with the day game coming up tomorrow. Masterson, the 0-1 delivery. Scott will take it. That is inside, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, it doesn't get a whole lot of easier because Josh Beckett for the Orioles, of course, Brad Bergeson has won 5, only lost 2. And he's been on fire. He's having a great June. Run his record to 5-2. Beckett 9-1, 4-1 a lifetime here at Camden Yards against the Orioles. Good swing by Luke right there.
Fouls that one straight back, and the count will go to 1-2. Tampa Bay has continued their move. They have defeated Toronto by a score of 4-1. Manny Del Carmen in the bullpen. Tampa Bay has won 7 in a row. They are right now, for the moment at least, 5 games out, and with the Red Sox likely winning this ball game, they'll remain 5 games behind. They're in 3rd place in the East. The Yankees are tied with Seattle in the 6th inning, 3-3 in their ball game. The Yankees 3.5 behind the Red Sox. Yankees have won 5 in a row. Tampa Bay has won 7 in a row. The Red Sox are looking to make it 2 in a row and 8 out of their last 10. So it heats up here as we head to the All-Star break in the East.
Thing is, the Red Sox, of course, they own the Yankees. They're 9-0. Actually 8-0.
1-2 lifted in the air to right field. That is back near the wall, and that's where it'll hit. Ricochets towards center. Scoring is Huff. Reimold goes to third. It's an RBI double for Luke Scott. And the second run, it is a 10-2 ball game.
Oh, I told you the one thing about Justin Masterson, if you can get some lefties up there, the number's over 300. Huff gets the double, and right here it looks like a kind of a hanging slider. And Luke Scott doesn't miss it. A little bit to the left is going to be a home run. Boy, it misses a home run by about a foot. There's Huff for the second run.
Just caught the corner of that scoreboard right at the end of the SK hot dog out there. Scott, though, will pick up the RBI. And the Orioles have 2 in scoring position still. And nobody out. For Luke Scott, his 39th run batted in on his 9th double of the year. That is outside. Oscar Salazar is on as the pinch hitter for Melvin Mora. Mora had an 0 for 2 in the ball game. For Salazar, 364 average, but only 22 at bats. And he lifted and he got that one way back, and goodbye home run. Oscar Salazar, a 3 RBI pinch hit homer.
Dave Tremblay said, how do I get him in the lineup? 372 hitter down in Norfolk. Hitting up here in the big league. This is how you do it. Look at that hanging slider. Goodbye. 86 right to the bat head. 3 quick runs for the O's.
Salazar's now 4 for 8 as a pinch hitter. That will be his first home run. And 3 RBIs. He's got 5 of those on the year. And hang on here. It's all of a sudden it's a 10-5 game. And what was supposed to be let's cruise on through this is not let's cruise on through this anymore.
And John Farrell, not the Farrelly brothers, but John Farrell comes out and has a little conversation with Justin Masterson. So what? Struck out 4 of the first 6, and then 3rd inning for him, running into trouble. 4 consecutive base hits, couple singles, double, and a home run.
5th home run that Masterson has surrendered. Still nobody out, so the Orioles 4 up and 4 in here in the bottom half of the 7th inning to make it a 10-5 ball game. Matt Wieters 0 for 2. He has struck out, flied out, up the middle, through the wickets, and a base hit. 5 up and 5 on now as Wieters delivers a single.
Yeah, it turns out just about everything ending up in the middle of the plate, and Oriole pitching, at least some of them know about it. And all of a sudden, 10-1 is going to bring, now 10-5, going to bring Terry Francona out of the dugout. Going to go to Del Carmen, who's a terrific reliever, who's loose in the bullpen for the Red Sox.
So that will be it for Masterson as he will work 2+ innings in the ball game. 6 in a row retired, then 5 in a row on. Del Carmen coming in. Oscar Salazar delivering the pinch hit home run, good for 3 RBIs for the Orioles, their first pinch hit home run since the 30th of July in 2008, hit by Juan Castro. And Salazar's made it a ball game again, and Manny Del Carmen's out of the pen.
Yeah, we saw him last night, and he has been very good out of the bullpen. I mean, over really since late last season. He's given up 8 earned runs in 53 innings. So a power pitcher, mid-90s, big overhand curveball, and a wind shear changeup. Number 2-round draft choice, and really grew up outside of Boston.
27-year-old Del Carmen out of East Bridgewater, Massachusetts. Del Carmen on now in a game that suddenly has a whole different look to it, and it did after the hour and 11-minute rain delay. As the Orioles have come back to make it a 10-5 game. Still nobody out. Here's Andino. Runner at first base is Matt Wieters. That one down the line, curving towards the stands, and a foul ball, not by much, into that corner down there, 320 away.
Yeah, when they built Camden Yards, they said they wanted it kind of patterning out after a lot of some of the older ballparks, but with all the convenience of the modern, and that's one of the quirky corners. That's Fenway Park. It went right into that same wall. It's about 4 inches from the foul line, it seems like.
That's the big door down there that's used to go on and off the field with vehicles, etc. 0-1 count. Andino. Weeder short lead at first base. Del Carmen's delivery off the middle, off the mound. Pedroia to the bag himself. One. He won't get two. Weeders out at second base for the first out of the inning. That one slowed up by the mound enough so Pedroia could get to it.
And he's still thinking double play, and line drive hits the top of the mound, bounces in the air. Pedroia, he's going to scurry to the bag. He was thinking maybe I'm going to get to Lugo, but Lugo's going up the middle to get the ball, and there's a late throw to Jeff Bailey over at first base.
Well, for Brian Roberts, no better time to get out of the slump he is in than right now. He is 1 for 8 lifetime off Del Carmen. 0 for 3 in this game, 0 for 17. Runner at first base and 1 down. Del Carmen's delivery is way up high and away for a ball. As we mentioned, this is the best bullpen in the American League. Best ERA, fewest hits per 9 innings, second fewest home runs allowed. And the Orioles, as we just got through mentioning, and Justin Masterson had never done anything against him, got 5 guys in a row on, and 4 of them scored. 1-0 count. Del Carmen's pitch, slow roller. Pedroia's going to go to first. Take the shore out with the 5-run lead.
Yeah, I think his instincts are I'm going to get the lead runner, and then his better instinct says, you know what, 10-5. I'll take Brian Roberts, and they get the second out. And you saw Papelbon. I mean, who would have thought he was even up, kind of mirroring his windups as Okajima gets loose when they eventually led 10-1. So he's going to be ready just in case.
Another runner in scoring position here. Felix Pie, a triple and an RBI, 1 for 2. He came on for Adam Jones. Adam out of the ball game, precautionary measure, after running into the center field wall trying to rob Youkilis of the home run, and he got it in the first inning and actually had the ball in the glove when he reached over the wall, but he hit the wall so hard the glove came off and with the ball went over the fence, and he hit his head hard in that center field wall and finished the inning but came out of the game. 1-0 delivery on the way, and he's got a base hit, gonna wave him home, and there'll be no play at the plate. And an RBI single, Felix Pie, and that's a big run. It makes it 10-6, and it comes with 2 down.
Yeah, and now you can, with the bases loaded, get the tying run to the plate. So the Crow, Terry Crowley said, Pie spread out, leg kick maybe not as high, plate coverage better. Triple, now the RBI single. Able to stay back. Pretty good changeup right there by Del Carmen. And Andino's going to make it a 4-run ball game.
2 RBIs in the ball game and 3 at bats for PA, and Terry Francona's not liking this at all. He'll come back out with Markakis coming up. He wants the matchup with Okajima, left-hander against left-hander. The Orioles have gotten right back into this game, 10-6. Hideki Okajima comes out of the bullpen with a runner on to face the left-hander Markakis.
Yeah, matchup guy. Lefty's only 136, 8 for 59, 1 home run. Righty's a little higher, 220 with 3 home runs, and he's been very, very good. 15 holds this year. That's second in the American League, and since this will be his 3rd year with the Red Sox, 65, which is second.
Big at bat.
Yeah,
it's a big at bat. Nick Markakis is 3 for 13 lifetime off Okajima, with 2 down here and a 4-run differential now. Runner at first base, PA. Orioles would love to see Nick Markakis tie into one right here off Okajima. 2 down. The delivery to him is in there for a strike. Masterson charged with 5 runs, all earned on 5 hits over 2+ innings. And now the 4th pitcher used in the ball game, Okajima. Official score, if the Red Sox can hang on and win, we'll have to decide who gets the win in this ball game. It won't be Smoltz. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and the breaking ball will miss outside. 1-1 to Nick Markakis. Nick has had an 0 for 3 in this one, a 1 for 7 in the series so far, as the Orioles have mustered their way back in. Here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, 5 runs scored. And the 1-1 delivery. Markakis off the fists, 1 and 2.
Yeah, you could just see, not overpowering from a standpoint of velocity, but just that late movement. He's got a change up to back it up, and then the big overhand curveball. But a sharp breaker.
Orioles have batted around here in the 7th inning. Markakis, the 9th man to come to the plate. Nick here at home's got the 10th best average of anybody in the American League at home. 1-2, a look at PA in the delivery. Markakis off the fist. That's heading out to the Bermuda Triangle, and that's going to fall in. Oh, PA better get in, and he does. Whoa.
Well, and the way he did it, great call, Gary, because tell you what, you're 4 runs down, you better make it. You never want to make the first or the third out at third base, but he gets a angle, and Ellsbury's going to come in. I mean, a jam shot right here. Nick will take it. It is right in between, and right here, nice throw by Ellsbury, and then the ball hits PA. Otherwise, it's going to be bang bang. And he's looking right now, and I don't know, this is a little Bobby Grich right here. He used to do it on purpose. I don't think that was on purpose, but it certainly works.
So the Orioles have batted around in the 7th inning. Runners on at first and third base. 10 hits in the ball game now. And here's Aubrey Huff. A single to start this inning and scored. Okajima. Huff will take the pitch up high for a ball. An amazing comeback here for the Orioles after the rain delay, and Masterson came out and retired 6 in a row, striking out 4, and Tremblay's O's just picked it right back up again. Aubrey Huff off Okajima, 2 for 12. 1-0 delivery. Breaking ball again. That one is in there for a strike, and Huff is really upset.
Well, again, it's those borderline pitches, and it just flips the count. Instead of 2-0, it's 1-1. And he just thinks it's high. And it was.
The Orioles feel like they are getting none of the calls in these 2 games.
Well, you want consistency, but you're getting consistently inconsistent umpiring, and that's an irritant.
The delivery to Huff has got to regroup, and it's taken down low, and a 2-ball 1-strike count.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if it really changes the way you pitch if you're Okajima, but for normal guys, the difference between 2-0 and 1-1 is huge. I mean, he's going to throw all his pitches. He's going to try to stay out of the middle of the plate, and of course that's why he's been so successful. But it does make a difference, especially psychologically. Like to hit when you're ahead.
Aubrey Huff. Here's the 2-1 delivery to him. That one fouled straight back.
There we go. Oh, you're oh.
Two-ball, 2-strike count here with 2 down. Runners off first and third. And Huff, he gets caught by Pedroia. Aubrey Huff almost gets the out, but the Orioles are back in this ball game with a big 5-run 7th inning, highlighted by Salazar's 3 RBI pinch hit homer. It is a 10-6 game. Say, have you tried Oriole Park's left field club picnic perch? If not, here's what you're missing. One low all-inclusive price. You get a game ticket, access to the exclusive club level, and all you can eat hot dogs, nachos, garden fresh salads. Hope you'll try it. 888-848-BIRD to go to Orioles.com. 0-1 count, Jason Bay. Bay on a check swing fouls that one straight back. So Mark Hendrickson all of a sudden got some work to do here, as Salazar will stay in the ball game and play at third base. He pinch hit for Mora. Mark Hendrickson out of the pen after Hill worked 3 in the third, gave up 9 runs, 7 earned, 9 hits. Albers an inning and 2/3, a hit and a strikeout, and now Hendrickson. And the Oriole bats coming alive. 5 runs, 7 hits in the 7th inning as 10 came to the plate. 1 ball, 2 strike count. And Bay shatters the bat. And Dino, oh my gosh, throw over. That barrel of the bat ended up in the bouncing off the facade by the Red Sox dugout at the end of the seats and actually went into the stands. Oh man.
Which will make a lot of the Red Sox fans happy as long as they don't get hurt.
Yeah.
It's a souvenir.
Wow.
Well, we just see it a couple times every night. I mean, David Ortiz broke his bat last night and hit it right down the right field line for a single because of the defense. The shift is on again. Salazar is playing shortstop, even though he's third baseman.
Ortiz has single doubled, has an RBI in the ball game, 2 for 4 and 3 for 8 in the 2 games so far.
Well, he's had some awfully good at bats. I mean, he did strike out on a great curveball from Rich Hill, but he took a double up the gap, served another one that was left center, served another one to left. He's had some very, very good at bats. I mean, again, I guess if you're looking at for long balls, you know, you're not going to get a whole lot against left-handers, even though in years past he can drive the ball, but just stayed on the ball. That's what you want.
Here's the 1-1 delivery to him. Ortiz will foul that one back, and the strike goes to a ball. Count goes to a ball and 2 strikes on David Ortiz.
Yeah, he doesn't want June to end, does he?
Nope.
Not the kind of June he had with 7 home runs of his 8.
What he wants to do, of course, is to continue it. A .310 average coming into the ball game in June. 7 home runs, 17 RBIs. He'd only had 18 RBIs in the first 2 months. Breaking ball down low. April and May hit 185. June .310. So, I mean, if that's a comeback, that's it. And now we'll see if he can continue it into the summer months. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Mark Hendrickson into the windup. It'll stay at 2-2.
And you won't really be able to know. I mean, you got another 3 months to find out if it's just an aberration, April and May, or if June's an aberration. A lot of pressure because they depend on him so much.
Hendrickson with the 2-2 again. And this is down low and a 3 ball, 2 strike count.
And you know, Markakis is saying, well, that was a strike on me the first time around. Well, maybe he's not, but he's just thinking it. Yes.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure of that. And the full count delivery, and Ortiz takes it, and he's on with a walk. So with 1 away here in the 8th inning, Ortiz will get the walk, and George Gutierrez will get his first at bat.
Yeah, I would imagine that Dave Tremblay was saying the reason we're leaving Hendrickson in there because even though we had Jason Bay leading off, 2 of the next Red Sox hitters were left-handed.
Gutierrez coming up, the backup catcher.
So it looks like Danny Baez is going to get up. And the problem, I mean, he probably would have brought him in if he was pitching at this point in successive days. Just because he's fresh and Mark has done a nice job. But if you use him tonight, at least all year long, they haven't used him or had the ability to use him in consecutive games.
Gutierrez, who can catch the knuckleball, does some work for Tim Wakefield. That grounder coming right back to the mound. Chance for 1, chance for 2. No. They get the force out at second base, and Ortiz. Gutierrez reaches on the fielder's choice.
That runs pretty well for a catcher, and again, it was a very, very slow exchange. You know, it's a wet night, so right here, Hendrickson, not a lot on it, and then snap throw from Andino, just not in time. So again, a long time to get it to second base, and Gutierrez. Think about the Red Sox. Jason Bay early on almost beat out a routine ground ball to third base. They run every ball out.
Here is Rocco Baldelli with 2 down and a runner on at first base. Rain is all but stopped. There may be a little mist towards second. That's going to be a base hit. So Baldelli's on with a single. PA will get it back in. Gutierrez stops at second base. These 2 teams got another game to play tomorrow afternoon, the matinee. 1:30 will be on the air with it. Beckett and Bergeson. Cannot allow the Red Sox to score another run here. Not after that comeback in the 7th inning. 2 on, and it'll bring to the plate Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury's had a home run, his 4th, an RBI single. So he's 2 for 4, a run scored, and 2 runs batted in. And Rick Krenitz, the pitching coach, is on his way out now to talk with Hendrickson. You got a left-hander at the plate. Seemingly want Hendrickson to be out there to take him on here.
Yeah, only recently has the numbers of Mark against lefties. He's never been one of those guys like George Sherrill where they're under 100 or even under 200. That number has creeped under 300. So again, not a sure bet against lefties.
Ellsbury's gone 1 for 3 in the only occasions he has batted against him. He's hitting .261 off the lefties, .313 off right-handers. So Jacoby Ellsbury in, and believe it or not, in a big at bat in a ball game where the Red Sox had a 10-1 lead. Ground ball, first base, shattered bat, foul ball. Just missed going over the bag, and it'll be a strike. Almost got the out right there to end the inning. Takashi Sato in the bullpen, a lot deeper, and the Red Sox thought they were going to have to go already. 0-1 count, 2 on, inside with a heater, 1-1.
Yeah, the afternoon game, then the Red Sox are off. The Orioles are off to the West Coast Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday against the Angels, and then 3 games in Seattle. Off day back for Toronto and then the All-Star break.
1-1 delivery on the way, ground ball up the middle. That's a big hit. Felix Piet, they're going to wave him home. Here's Piet's throw to the plate, and they got him. Felix Piet gets it into Waiters. And Contreras, trying to score, is thrown out at the plate. We'll see how big that looms in this ball game. Waiters coming around with a tag on a very close play. It's enough to get the 3rd out. It remains 10-6. Well, the most interesting ball game. Justin Masterson unable to get Luke Scott, who delivered in the 7th inning an RBI double. Salazar pinch hit home run, good for 3 RBIs. Suddenly right back in it. Then PA, he delivers an RBI base hit with 2 down, and the Orioles 5 runs, 7 hits in the 7th in a 10-1 ball game turned around. How about PA? He's only had 3 at-bats, came in for Jones. He's had a triple, a single, 2 RBIs, and he's thrown a runner out at the plate.
Yeah, 3rd time of the he's been able to do that. Of course, Markakis with 8, Jones with 5. Reimold got his first assist the other night, throwing out Elijah Dukes.
Now Hideki Okajima will stay on and will work against Reimold, who's delivered 2 singles. He's 2 for 3. And he has scored a run.
And you're seeing some of those tools that Felix PA possesses. Certainly has done it at the minor league level.
Reimold, and the pitch is taken outside for a ball. Now the Orioles, they've got time here in this ball game. They brought themselves within shouting distance as it is 10-6, and they've got 6 outs to work with. We've got 25 hits in this game, 15 for the Red Sox and 10 for the Orioles, and 8 and 16 runs. Breaking ball he held off of, did not go around on it. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Okajima wanted to ask at first, they do, and Guccione says That's one where the first base umpire is not going to call it a strike, because originally Tony Randazzo was asked and wouldn't go down there and ask for help, and finally when they wouldn't stop asking, he went down there. Well, by that time first base umpires decided
no chance.
No chance. Reimold, he rips it. A base hit into left field. I think he broke his bat on that as well. And the Orioles have a leadoff single here in the 8th, his 3rd hit of the game.
Yeah, you elevate, he's going to have a good swing. And again, he just happens and keeps getting base hits. And again, the difference between 2 and 1 and 1 and 2. He gets his pitch. I don't know if he broke his bat, but did get it out on the end of the bat and kind of hit a Wimbledon topspin line drive into left.
That is his 3rd 3-hit ball game of the season. Luke Scott to be followed by Salazar. Scott a double, RBI, run scored, 7th inning, 1 for 2 and a walk. The Orioles designated hitter in the ball game. And he'll take the pitch from Okajima up high for a ball.
Yeah, and as much as Jonathan Papelbon, the closer for the Red Sox, has had success against the Orioles, 20 out of 20 with an ERA of around 0.3 runs a game. You'd love to see him come into this game, because that means you have a chance to get back in it, or you are back in it, I suppose.
Runner off first base. Big shift is on against Luke Scott. Up high. Scott's hitting .322 off left-handers with 7 of his 14 home runs.
What he hit last year, .215.
Yeah, he's really up the average against lefties.
And he will say, number one, he changed his stance. I mean, as far as resting his hands up on his shoulders or just off his shoulder. That back leg, the Achilles tendon, bothered him most of last season. That was healthy. It seemed to get better in the offseason.
2-0 delivery to him, and he rips it to right field. That's going to be at least off the wall, right off the very top. Here's the throw. Second base, sliding. He's in with a double. Raimo goes to third, and the Orioles have 2 on and nobody out.
He has missed 2 home runs by about 2 feet tonight. One hit the scoreboard, the left side of it in right field, and this one just sinking enough and right there. So one to the left and one to the right, and then right here Baldelli makes a nice throw, and there's Raimo making sure. He's kind of looking, going, I better make it, down by 4 runs.
So the Orioles are making what looked like a put-away game mighty interesting, as Okajima struggling here to find outs. Raimo a single, a double by Scott. Here's Salazar, who delivered the home run. John Farrell, pitching coach, to the bullpen. Salazar, pinch hit home run, came in the 7th inning, stayed in to play third base. And Hideki Okajima's got 2 in scoring position and nobody out. Salazar, a breaking ball that is in there for a strike. Okajima had worked in 4 previous games against the Orioles, had given up nothing in 2 1/3 innings. He has given up 2 hits here in the 8th.
And you know what his approach would be if the game was closer. He'd hit a ball to the right side. They're playing back. Run would score if it's on the ground. Move the runner to third.
Good breaking ball right there and an 0-2 count.
But when you're 4 down, maybe a little different approach in the 8th inning.
Crowd that has hung on after the hour and 11-minute rain delay in the 5th has got to see some kind of a finish here, and we're far from done. 0-2 count. Reimold off third, Scott off second base. Salazar way up high by Okajima, and the count will go to 1-2. Orioles trying to mount, well, they have mounted an enormous comeback, but to get a couple more here at least in the 8th inning.
And Oscar got the big blow. That 3-run home run really put him back on track to get back in this game.
Okajima ready with a 1-2. Salazar, another runner not coming. Gutierrez, no play.
Well, I tell you,
why didn't he throw the ball?
Well, you know, I don't know if he couldn't get a handle on it. If he comes up and throws it, Salazar is so far out of that 45-foot line, which is right here, that they're going to call him out automatically. And I don't know, again, because he probably doesn't have any angle, but if you tell the umpire, hey, he's out of the line, so the Orioles get a huge break.
Wow.
But look, he's on the grass. You're not supposed to run there. So Gutierrez says, I probably don't want to throw it away. I don't think he had any kind of angle.
So the Red Sox unable to get the out. It loads the bases. Okajima will now face Matt Wieters,
who has yet to homer from this side of the plate. Both of his home runs have been when he's hitting left-handed. So I guess he's due.
Nobody out, bases loaded. The Orioles have the potential tying run in this ball game at the plate. Outfield playing very deep to cut off extra base hits if they can. Okajima stands back.
Amazing thing about the Orioles, they've gotten 10 base hits in the last inning. Is that incredible? And it's not over.
The delivery is a fastball in there for a strike. There is Ty Wigginton, who's come out in the on-deck circle to be pinch hitting for Andino. 13 hits in the ballgame now for the Orioles.
And it looks to me that Jonathan Papelbon, along with Sato, is throwing in the Red Sox bullpen, their closer.
We are in the 8th inning. Nobody out. 0-1 count on Wieters. Delivery to him. Breaking ball fouled away. And the count goes to 0-2. There is Papelbon and Sato. Papelbon came in for a third of an inning in the ball game last night. 31,969 the attendance here tonight, and many have stayed. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way. Wieters just got enough to stay alive on that one.
Yeah, great pitch by Okajima, up and in. Boy, it's so tough to hit with 2 strikes. Got to cover all 4 quadrants, hard, soft, in, out, and you can see just barely making contact.
An amazing comeback here as the Red Sox, 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 5 in the fourth, added another in the 8th. Built up a 10-1 lead in the ball game, and then the Orioles roaring back. Wieters waiting, the 0-2 delivery. Wieters lifts it, but it's foul.
And it all started in a 10-1 game when Masterson had struck out 4 of the first 6 batters he faced. Huff just hit what would seem a harmless single to right field, and then Reimold did the same thing, and Scott doubled, and Sal started homer, and Wieters hit a single up the middle, and on and on and on. They just got going.
Sometimes you turn that button off in a ball game, you think you've already won, and you can't get the switch back up again.
But I think probably some of it is the long delay with a 9-1 lead for the Red Sox.
Matt Wieters, he's going to get a base hit into left field. Big jump, Reimold. Scott will have to stop at third. It is a 10-7 game. Wieters with the RBI base hit. There's still nobody out, and the bases are still loaded.
Well, take a look at Matt Wieters. Again, you have to hit a home run from this side. There's your strike 1, and there's a good curveball. Now he's starting to fight off pitches, and that's the big at bat right there. Foul ball, still 1-2, and then off the end of the bat, pretty good pitch by Okajima. Soft single to left. Run gets in. Orioles get another run.
Wieters gets his 7th RBI of the year. He is 2 for 4 in the game. Ty Wigginton being announced. Terry Francona is getting ready to come out of the bullpen out to the mound to make the change. Wigginton will come in with a 9-game hit streak, .471 average, and 2 home runs during the streak. And he will come on with the bases loaded, representing the potential go-ahead run, as Okajima will come out of the game, and they'll leave Papelbon in the pen, and Sato will come on to do the pitching. So Takashi Sato is coming out of the bullpen to face Ty Wigginton rather than bring Jonathan Papelbon, their closer, in with nobody out here in the 8th inning. Ty Wigginton went over to take a look at the reports they have on Sato.
And again, this is a game of matchup, so you start talking about the Orioles. They have their hottest hitter in June with the bases loaded, trailing by 3. Sato comes in the last 3 years. Saito, comes in, and he was the last 3 years with the Dodgers, awfully good. Last year, sprained the ligament in his elbow. So you start looking at inherited runners. He has come in with 8 on, and 5 have scored.
And right-handers have hit him
better than lefties,
pretty hard,
right? Yeah.
as they're hitting 289 off him. Lefties only 193. Saito's pitch to Wigginton is outside for a ball. An amazing comeback by the Orioles, however this ends, as they've made it a 10-7 game and get the potential go-ahead run to the plate here in the 8th inning with nobody out. Ty Wigginton hitting for Andino, who had a single and a couple of runs scored. The 1-0 delivery, Wigginton outside, not close on those 2, and the count is now 2-0. And bear in mind, they took the starting catcher, Jason Varitek, out to rest him, as Francona thought, and understandably so, that the ball game was over. Nothing against George Gutierrez, who's doing the catching, but you'd like to have Veritek in there right now.
Who would have ever thunk it, though, when you were ahead 10-1? You're right. You know, day game tomorrow, probably going to play him.
Yeah.
Figured this would be the perfect time.
Ty Wigginton, the 2-0 delivery to him. Wigginton will take it. It is in there for a strike.
They have faced each other. And as we look at Danny Baez and then George Sherrill, the closer, because he will come in to pitch the ninth if the Orioles would somehow take the lead. Wigginton has faced Saito 4 times with a base hit, so they have a little bit of history.
As a pinch hitter, Wigginton is 2 for 5. Got that big 9-game hit streak going. Bases loaded. And a step off. Wigginton will back out. Scott a double on at third. Salazar delivered a single on at second base, and Wieters an RBI single on at first. And you got to believe the Red Sox are out there going, what is going on here?
Well, the Orioles have lost 9 in a row, 12 of 13, and you figured out, how do you need to beat them?
2-1 delivery. That one blew foul, and it's 2-2.
And I'm not sure that they had in mind spotting them a 10-1 lead. But the great thing about trailing 10-1, you're one swing away from taking the lead here, or a swing away from getting your 8th and 9th runs and probably getting Papelbon, even though he usually doesn't pitch 2 whole innings. I mean, the one thing that right here, nobody out, so an opportunity to really get back in this game.
Wigginton 4 for 17 with the base runners on at third base. He's had big numbers with runners on, chased it and somehow reached it, and the count will stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
A little zoom ball and hope that you can get him to chase, and he does. And again, we've seen Wieters just foul one off with 2 strikes, and right there kind of tipped it
just enough to keep it out of the mid of Gutierrez. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Saito. Long time looking in for the sign. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that is outside, and it goes to 3-2.
With the Dodgers, Saito, he saved 24, 39, and 18. He was a guy that every year would strike out a lot more than he would face as far as innings pitched, and then the elbow problem. So again, he is a strikeout guy, and you're looking at the Orioles, no place to put Wigginton.
He has pitched against the Orioles this year in 2 previous games, a run on 3 hits in 2 innings. 3-2, bases loaded, nobody out. Saito's delivery to Wigginton, and he rips it to right field. Back and near the warning track, up and caught. Baldelli didn't realize where he was. A run will score. Sac fly RBI, and it is a 10-8 game. And almost misplayed. Baldelli thought he was closer to the wall than he was.
Well, you get the run, the Red Sox get it out, and you can see what Gary Thorne was talking about. He probably had about 3, 4, 5 feet. There's Lou Scott for the 8th run. PA heads up play. He tags up. So here's your Expo swing right here, trying to make contact. 3-2. See it how he just got the bottom of the ball. Got it in the air though. So
first and third.
Brian Roberts, is he due? 0 for his last 18.
Way overdue. The 0 for 4 in this ball game. First and third now. Only one away. Saito looked to third and first. Red Sox have seen the huge lead disappear. It is now a ball game in the 8th inning. 5 runs for the Orioles in the 7th. They've added 2 more so far here in the 8th. Off first and third, the delivery. Roberts will take it for a strike. Just an unbelievable comeback. And you get this close.
Yeah.
Don't want to let go of it.
Might as well win it. Easier to talk about than to do, of course.
0-1. And Roberts will take that fastball. That is in there for a strike. 1-2.
And you can see in 39 still has a pretty good fastball located it right on the outside corner. Well, that got Terry up and pacing a little bit.
That woke everybody up over there if they weren't awake. 0-2 the count. And a timeout taken at the plate by Roberts. Felix P.A., the on-deck batter. The Orioles can keep it going. Brian Roberts, obviously very tough to double up with the speed he has, but sometimes hits the ball so hard on the ground that he will hit into a double play, as he has done that 3 times this year.
Yeah, and Bailey playing Wieters, who doesn't run very well in a very wet infield, right on the bag. So nice little hole into right field.
Saito, really long sets, and again Roberts asked for the timeout.
I mean, it seems very comfortable. Normally that's what you do when you want to keep a guy from getting a running lead at first, but I don't think Matt's going anywhere. So again, the hole we talked about, that nice little alley.
Dashi Saito tries to hang on to that ball just long enough to freeze the batter, but not long enough to let the batter get out of the box. Salazar up third, Wieters off first. Roberts waiting in the 0-2 delivery. Bryan takes it, and that didn't miss by much. And the count goes to 1-2.
Well, again, this is an effort just to paint the outside corner, and
further out than I thought, actually.
Yeah, well, we've seen some pitches that if you bring them in another inch or two that have been called in the first 2 nights. But I can't imagine that Bryan would have been in the game if they had called that a pitch to strike.
No.
Along with his manager.
Another timeout taken, this one by the catcher, Gutierrez. This thing has turned into a real grinded out ball game. Youkilis jumping around to third, trying to keep the blood flowing.
Well, it's a 2-run game.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Runners off first and third. The delivery to Roberts, breaking ball, misses inside.
I know people are sitting at home, but I mean, it's 10-8, but it's a 2-run game, and that's what's important. So again, you're going to see the Red Sox closer at some point, and who would have ever anticipated that when you're 9 runs down?
Papelbon's been standing out there watching the game and then throwing a couple and watching the game.
Well, remember when Saito was throwing a couple innings ago? He was actually mimicking his windup just to make sure, and now all of a sudden he's actually getting loose.
2-2 count. Brian Roberts, 1 out. Orioles down by 2. And another look at third and first. This is when your own dugout starts shouting, throw the ball.
Yeah. Reincarnation of Steve Traxel. That's not easy.
2-2. Long at bat, Roberts. The delivery. Bryan down to third. That is a fair ball. 1 run will score. Runner will stop at second base. A base hit for Roberts, driving in Salazar. It is a 10-9 game.
Well, off the snide, that 0 for 18, a thought of the past right there. And he hits a good curveball. This is Brian Roberts at his best. Youkilis off the line because, again, he's playing percentage baseball, and the ball just creeps in the left field. And they have yet to pinch run for Matt Wieters. Not a lot of speed. If you had any kind of speed, he would have been at third base. But again, very wet infield, and of course you've already taken more out of the game. I mean, you got your backup or second catcher, and so 1 out, and here comes Terry Francona.
It's time for Papelbon. Brian Roberts delivers the RBI base hit. What a ball game. The Orioles have battled back from 10-1 to 10-9. 1 down, 2 on. This is a multi-chapter story. Once the Red Sox were laughing. They left the field when there were only 2 outs and thought the inning was over. They turned around and came back, had a good smile about it, had a 10-1 lead. They're not smiling anymore, and Jonathan Papelbon is on.
Well, he never smiles because he's got his game face on, and again, you see 19 out of 20, tied to Bob Stanley's all-time record for closer for saves at 132. It's 20 out of 20 against the Orioles with a minuscule ERA. So here you go. Most one-run saves. The Orioles will see Brian Fuentes if they trail the Angels by less than 3 when they go out there this weekend. Archman's done a terrific job for the Mariners. They'll see him later on next week, and then you get to Papelbon and Sherrill. The Orioles hope they get to see Sherrill tonight trying to save a game.
We'll get a pinch runner as Jeremy Guthrie is going to pinch run for Matt Wieters at second base. So Guthrie, the Orioles starter, comes on as a pinch runner here as he represents the potential tying run in the ball game. 1 down, 8th inning, 10-9. The Red Sox lead is down to 1. Felix Pie has already had an amazing night and was not a starter in this game. Papelbon's delivery to Pie is outside for a ball. Pie came on for Adam Jones, who crashed into the wall trying to make a catch in the first inning. Pie then delivered an RBI triple, an RBI single, threw a runner out at the plate, and now is up with a chance to tie this ball game up or better. Each team now with 15 hits in the game. 1-0 count. Papelbon's delivery to Pie. Way behind on the heater. 1-1.
Yeah, a little bit outside, even though it's been a big strike zone. 94, 96. We saw some pretty good splitters. Hard slider last night. He's got them all. Pretty good test for Felix, not playing a lot, even though this month he had come into tonight's game 5 for 11, but very sporadic at bats.
Papelbon with a 1-1.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. That ball's so far outside that is, I mean, that's just horrible umpiring. And I don't care if this was George Sherrill. I mean, look at this ball. That's pathetic umpiring, whether you're the Orioles or the Red Sox. And he should be ashamed of himself because you just got to be better than that.
Boy,
I mean, it's
not even close.
No, I tell you what, I know Richie Garcia was here last night. He's got to be embarrassed about the performance Randazzo's put it on tonight.
1-2 delivery on the way. Pie has to swing at it up in the air, but it's going to be back into the seats. And it will stay. And a ball and 2 strikes.
Because, you know, Dave Tremblay, he certainly doesn't want to get tossed. He wants his players to go. But again, you have supervisors because they're supposed to sit behind home plate. You can have all the cameras in the world. And if you look at Jerry Lane, that was horrible last night for both sides. Tonight, Randazzo's been horrible. You can't put up with this kind of guys. And, you know, if you play poorly, they send you to the minor leagues. And Joe Torre used to say, hey, you know what? They make mistakes. We go to another ball club. They go on to the next city. And sooner or later, you have to make umpires accountable. They have not been very good in these first 2 games.
And Garcia is here. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Delivery on the way again. Pie swings and misses. Papelbon gets the strikeout. 2 down.
At the other side of the coin, of course, he takes advantage of it because he's Jonathan Papelbon. He's an all-star. And he just runs it off the outside corner. So if you call one 3, 4, 5 inches off the corner with 2 strikes, you have to swing at it. He makes a great pitch, and Felix Pie goes down on strikes.
So Papelbon gets the second out. The Orioles still with 2 on, 2 down. And that will bring up Nick Markakis. Markakis 0 for 7. Lifetime off Papelbon. He has a single, has struck out twice and popped out in this game. Papelbon trying to protect a 1-run lead here in the 8th inning. 2 down. Markakis swings, hits it in the air, left center field. Nobody's going to get that one. It'll bounce off the base of the wall. The tying run is in. The go-ahead run to the plate. Here's the throw. The slide. Safe. Third base. Safe. The Orioles have the lead.
And I think Terry Francona is going to come out and say, did the ball hit? Because this is a crucial play. Did it hit? And was it interfered with a fan? Because otherwise, Roberts got to go back to third base. Nick Markakis, bomb up the gap. The only thing is it going to bounce out of the stadium?
Nope, nobody touched it.
Nope. And even if it did, as an umpire, the ruling would be you have to decide Does the runner score?
We don't have to worry about it because nobody touched it. It is a 2 RBI double for Nick Markakis, who takes third on the throw, and the Orioles have one of the most amazing comebacks ever. They have an 11-10 lead in this game, and Jonathan Papelbon has coughed it up for the first time against the Orioles. He breaks the string that he had going as Papelbon could not get Nick Markakis. And the Orioles have taken a 1-run lead. Aubrey Huff, the 9th Oriole to come to the plate here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The 0-1 delivery to him is fouled off. There is nobody who was in this ballpark 3 hours ago who would have given you 10 cents that the Orioles would get back into this game, much less get a lead.
13 hits in an inning and 2/3 against the best bullpen in the American League.
Just an amazing performance by the Orioles. And this game's not done.
Oh, no.
In either side. 0-2 delivery on the way. Huff will take the pitch inside for a ball, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Papelbon had 20 saves and 20 chances against the Orioles, and an ERA of .39 in this his 26th career game against Baltimore. Nick Markakis gets the double and 2 RBIs to put the O's on top. The 1-2 delivery to Huff. That'll be taken down low, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, nice block on the splitter by George Kateris.
The largest O's comeback, 1956 at Boston, 8 runs down. They won it 11-10. Tonight, 9 runs. They trailed it 10-1. They now have a 1-run lead. That's the largest O's comeback here tonight. Now, though, you got to win the ball game. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Aubrey Huff takes it outside. Another full count, 3-2.
And the Red Sox will send the 9th through lead off and number 2 hitter to start the 9th inning.
Aubrey Huff 2 for 7 off Papelbon. A very meaningful run, obviously, out there at third base in the person of Nick Markakis. Orioles have now batted around twice in this ballgame. 7th and 8th innings. 3-2 delivery on the way. Inside, he walked it.
And Jonathan says it's not in.
And that will bring John Farrell, the pitching coach, out primarily to settle Papelbon down a bit here.
Take a look right here, and again, it's been a wandering strike zone all night long. And he got the corner, at least our Matson pitch track says he did. So John Farrell, he's doing exactly what you're talking about. I mean, we're talking about a guy that gets amped up, and he knows, and John Farrell's going to remind him that the game is not over. He needs to get Nolan Reimold, the young rookie for the Orioles, who again has had a nice night.
Reimold started this inning with a base hit, and he will get another chance here with runners on at first and third. Reimold's had a 3-hit ball game. He's never had a 4-hit game this year. 3 for 4 for Nolan Reimold, now hitting at .299. Runners off first and third, 2 down. Papelbon. Reimold high in the air. He just missed. Jason Bay over in fair territory, and he will put it away to end the inning. But in one of the great comebacks, the Orioles have scored 10 runs in 2 innings. Nick Markakis off Papelbon, 2 RBIs with a double, and the Orioles lead it 11-10. So the Orioles will make defensive changes as we go to the 9th. Ty Wigginton will stay in the ball game, and he will play it short. Greg Zahn will come on for Wieters, who is pinch run for, and do the catching. And the Orioles closer, George Sherrill, will come on to pitch.
You know, yeah, if this was last year, let's take a look at George, and he's just been spectacular. Struggled early on. Dave Trebley, the Oriole manager, said, you know what, we may have to think about matching up. And since then, he's just been outstanding. 12 straight successful saves, 16 out of 18. The numbers have come down. If this was last year, you would say, and you still have to say it tonight to some degree, buckle your seatbelts. There's turbulence ahead.
Well,
he's been awfully good.
Here's a chance for the Orioles' greatest comeback victory in terms of runs. If George Sherrill can find a way right now to close this ball game out.
And nobody up behind him, as it's usually pretty typical with a closer.
So Sherrill working here to Jeff Bailey, the number 9 hitter. He's had a big night. Triple, single, walk, 3 runs scored. And he will foul that one away. Bailey just called up today. Certainly had no expectation of the kind of ball game he was going to be involved in here, making the start at first base.
Been a pretty good night.
Mark Hendrickson, who came on and worked 3 solid innings out of the bullpen. The left-hander's got a chance to be the winner in this ball game for the Orioles. Papelbon, if the Orioles could win it right now, would take the loss along with a blown save. But 3 very tough outs. Fastball will miss up high and away, and a 2-1 count.
Yeah, the one thing that George Sherrill has been better at, I mean, last year he had 31 saves, but no problem saving games. It's just his command has been better.
Sherrill with the 2-1 delivery to Bailey.
Yeah, well, you get an idea of why he was the International League Player of the Year last year, because he can hit the heater.
Bear in mind, this is a veteran player.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 30-year-old who's been around both the majors and minors.
Well, that will get your attention. Look at those numbers against left-handers. So we know what this is going to be. Probably going to be a curveball. And the one thing about George, I don't know if he threw any changeups last year, but he has sprinkled them in. I don't know if this is the right time to do it. The second best pitch is that curveball, and you would think that, well, no.
2-2 delivery on the way to him. Came inside with a little heat, and the count is full, 3-2. So a ball game in which we had an hour and 11-minute rain delay in the 5th inning. A game in which the Red Sox had a 10-1 lead. A game in which after the rain delay, it looked as though Justin Matheson was just going to mow him down. He retired 6 in a row, 4 strikeouts, and then it all changed. And a base hit. So Bailey delivers the single, the lead off the 9th inning. And the potential tying run is on.
Yeah, and they will pitch run for Jeff Bailey with Nick Green.
Let's update you on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. Salazar on top, Scott and Reimold all a part of the comeback. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, to 518-62. Final results coming up on O's Extra postgame show. Nick Green is on as the pinch runner for Bailey. And the top of the order. Here's Lugo. Lugo 0 for 2 off Sherrill, but has had a 2-hit ball game. First 2 at bats he delivered singles and scored. He has since struck out, grounded out, and struck out again. Each team now with 16 hits. 21 runs on 32 hits. Wow, Green diving back in.
Well, there's your tie and run for the Red Sox. Nick Green. And as we've talked about all the time, Lugo's kind of a line drive spray hitter. Handles the bat well. Salazar even with a bag at third just in case he would be bunting.
Throw over. They had the charge on from third base. Lugo did slide his hand up the bat on the throw over. Now whether he meant that or not, we'll see.
Yeah, and I don't know if he did that simultaneously with George throwing over to first. That's certainly a way sometimes you figure out if he's bunting or not.
Lugo has already checked with DeMarlo Hale. Whatever the call was, it's still on. He's got 1 sacrifice. He shows bunt very early, and he meant it. And a bad effort as he pops it up over by the dugout. Takes the strike.
It is sometimes difficult for position players to bunt unless they're bunting for a base hit. First Hall of Fame shortstop I played with was Louis Aparicio. Couldn't sacrifice to save his life, but bunt for a base hit, could get it down.
0-1 count. Lugo still a bunting situation count wise. 0-1. Not bunting. Swung on a miss on an off-speed breaking ball, and the count goes to 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's really the pitch I thought they would throw Jeff Bailey after he hammered that foul ball. And they came back with a fastball, and eventually he had to throw him a strike, singled into left field.
Sherrill, his second outing against the Red Sox this season. He's worked only 1 inning, 1 hit. He has 4 saves lifetime against Boston. Here's the 0-2 delivery, way up high to in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A pressure cooker game that was anything but. It was just a slow roast. Clam bake for the Red Sox for most of it, and then all of a sudden somebody turned the heat up.
And for George, you know, again, I mean, the guy sitting in the booth next to us, Dennis Eckersley, said that fear is a great motivator. And he said, you know, the last thing you want to do as a closer, especially after you come back from 10-1, is not be able to close it out.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Lugo fouls it back. It'll stay at 1-2. Sherrill challenged him that time, trying to push one by him.
Yeah, and he had a pretty good swing.
Veteran Red Sox team. This is where the experience of all those games they've played, playoff-wise in particular, comeback wins matter, where you just keep on grinding.
Well, after Lugo, you get into three pretty good right-handed hitters. You get into Pedroia, who led the American League in hits, MVP. You get Bay, who's their leading RBI and home run guy. I mean, you got Euclid, who is awfully good, and there's Ramirez in case they either tie it up because Papelbon will leave the game.
1-2 delivery, breaking ball. Good stop made. Zahn pushing Lugo out of the way in case the runner is going. Lugo going arms up. I'm with you.
No, he's just trying to keep it in front of him, and he does a great job of doing that. And right here, that curveball can go the other way. He just knocks it down and then get out of the way. And he kind of gave him a look.
Yeah. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Green keeping a short tether over there at first base, representing that potential tying run, and George Sherrill will step off. Boy, what an amazing baseball game. Orioles getting 5 runs in the 7th, 5 more runs in the 8th inning, sending 10 men to the plate in each inning to take an 11-10 lead to the top of the 9th. And now Lugo's going to play a little cat and mouse. As soon as Sherrill started to get ready, Lugo asked for the timeout. Huff holding the bag at first. Gottings called strike 3, and Lugo can't believe it.
Well, welcome to the club, Julio. And what happens is you could see Zahn moving in, and he throws it all the way back across the plate. But again, it looked to me, and it's hard to tell from that angle, but the Mass and pitch track said, and Tony Randazzo says, yes, it was a strike.
Dustin Pedroia 0 for 2 off Sherrill. He's had a 2 RBI double and an RBI single and a run scored in the ball game.
Yeah, Nick Green, he's not going to be stealing any bases. He's 1 out of 4. But you do have a good hit and run guy, and there's your perfect fastball on the inside part of the plate.
Dustin Pedroia with the Nomar Garcia Parra. Got to fix the gloves after every pitch out of the batter's box move.
And they do play to take away the double. Salazar about maybe a step and a half from the third base line. So there's a huge hole in the left field for Pedroia.
The delivery to him, a big cut as he was going for the go-ahead run, and an 0-2 count on Pedroia.
Well, you know, he can hit any pitch, Gary, as we've seen. You don't lead the American League in hits and hit over 300 and be the MVP, but he's a better high ball hitter, which we've seen over the course of this game.
The Orioles Orioles are trying to end an 8-game streak. But the Red Sox have beaten the Orioles going back to last year. Trying to set up a rubber match in this 3-game set for tomorrow. 0-2 delivery by Sherrill. Pedroia takes it, bounces on, blocks it. Green stays at first base.
Now I know that Zahn came in when they pinch ran for Matt Wieters, but I'll tell you what, that pretty exceptional job of blocking that ball. I didn't put him in for defense. Wieters is very good at doing it too, but you know, the first one kind of at least got to the plate. That was one of those 59.5-foot curveballs.
1-2. The Orioles defense has changed dramatically since the start of the game. Salazar over at third now, and he's very close to the line. They are giving Pedroia the hole between short and third as Ty Wigginton has come on to play at short, and Wigginton has moved over towards the bag. So there's a big hole. They're squeezing Pedroia up the middle, and look at that hole between third and short.
Yeah, and the reason they play here is again with a 1-run lead, you want to take away the double.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Delivery to him. Pedroia to right field. Nick Markakis, runner halfway. And there are 2 down.
And you can hear the Red Sox fan. They have hung around, as have the Orioles. Unbelievable game.
It'll be the biggest comeback win if they can hang on to it since '56. Down by 10-1. But you now face Kevin Youkilis, who's hit a home run in the first inning, his 13th, had an RBI double in the 4th, and a single. A 3-hit ball game, 3 for 5, 8th best average in the league.
And 0 for 2 off of George Sherrill. Not a lot of at-bats.
Delivery to him is going to be taken for a strike at the knees. The Oriole fans who have hung on here tonight may see some history made if George Sherrill can put this one away. Green on at first base.
And the Oriole outfield exceptionally deep. Take away the extra base hit if possible.
Sherrill's 0-1 delivery to him. A floater. Did he go? Yes. Chris Guccione at first base.
Well, we're going to show you what Chris Guccione is looking at. And he swung. And he could say he didn't, but we know he did. That wasn't one of those borderline swings either. So can Sherrill make it 13 in a row?
A 2-strike count and 2 down. Green off first base. The delivery to Youkilis outside for a ball. 1-2. Almost tonight, game 3, 1:30 in the afternoon as we close in on the midnight hour. One ball, 2-strike count on Youkilis. Orioles up by 1 in the 9th. Sherrill's delivery, check swing, hit him. And he'll get down to first base. They want to look at first.
Well, they're saying he swung the bat, and if he did.
And first base umpire says no.
And the Red Sox are just worried that hopefully Kevin is not hurt. This ball, they try to come in and they get it in. And that gets the right forearm, and the bat certainly didn't get in the hitting zone.
And that puts the potential tying run down at second base as they will attend to Kevin Youkilis as Jason Bay will wait. Right there, he says. A game that has a mind of its own here tonight.
Yep. We could invoke Yogi on this one. Not over till it's over.
And it's not over.
No, it isn't.
So Sherrill will have to go back and try and get it against Bay. For George Sherrill, that will be the second batter he's hit this year. Jason Bay stands in. Potential tying run now at second base. Go ahead at first with 2 down here in the 9th inning.
And they have never faced each other.
Bay has had an intentional walk. The delivery to him. And a strike taken. Bay has not had a hit yet in the 2 games, as he is 0 for 4 in this and 0 for 9 in these 2. 268 hitter, 19 home runs, RBI leader not only for the team but for the league. George Sherrill.
And he's hit 5 of those 19 home runs in these situations, close and late.
Fouled off and an 0-2 count.
Yeah, the one thing about George Sherrill, if you want to compare him to Jonathan Papelbon, Papelbon's going to throw harder. They're both very deceptive. But that's what George is about. You don't always pick the ball up as well as you'd like to.
23 pitches thrown by Sherrill here in the 9th inning. A single by Bailey. Green ran for him. He's at second. Euclid hit by a pitch with 2 down. He's at first. George Sherrill with the 0-2 delivery to Bay. Up high, 1-2.
Well, this is what's so great about the game. You have a guy at the plate who was the 645th player chosen against a guy that spent 4 years in the Independent League, George Sherrill. And it all comes down to what they do.
Here's the 1-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. The Orioles have an amazing comeback win as they win it 11-10 in one of the greatest comebacks you will see in Major League Baseball, as they beat Papelbon, who not only blows the save but takes the loss. Nick Markakis with both the tying and go-ahead RBIs, as the Orioles got 10 runs on 13 hits in the 7th and 8th innings of this game. The 9-run differential ends up being an 11-10 win. Mercy.